Thursday night Crossfire. Here we go. You know, normally Thursday's already exciting enough, but it happens to be Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Eve for some people. For others, they're in New Zealand and they're playing right now. That just happens to be the case. That being said, guys, outstanding show for you guys we have prepared. Got a great panel here. I know everyone's chomping at the bit. This show is going to help you get closer to 12:01 a.m. Eastern time, okay, before the great Call of Duty goes live, for majority of people, that is. Like I say, we take a second, guys, and hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Your name comes up in lights. Do want to make an announcement here. So you guys know, I mention it all the time. You guys know one of my favorite genres in gaming is, of course, the zombie movie, zombie games, the Halloween titles. So Halloween's a big deal, okay? Halloween's a big deal. Just so happens, unfortunately, Halloween's on Thursday. Everything's on Thursday, okay? So we're going to go ahead. The show must go on. That's the rule we have on the channel. The show must go on. But we're going to do next week on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. And I'll mention that throughout the show. Some people don't see the beginning. Some people fast forward. There's timestamps later on. Shout out to Super Timestamps. He's a great guy out there. Really, really great guy. He does all the timestamps for the show. But we're going to be doing Wednesday next week. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. So spread the word. I'll be tweeting it out and putting it on the channel. You guys will see the advertisements. But yeah, while we get everything going here, take a second and look at that outstanding description. You'll see right above that is the join button. If you're wondering, why is it my name in green in the chat? It's because you got to join the family. So you join the channel, you get a lot of emotes. They're great. You also get your name in green. And let me take a second to thank the great Mash. Mash has been coming on every week and doing 20, 30, 40 subs. Outstanding to have him. He loves the communities in the chat. Just absolutely cutting it up with everybody every single week. There's the great Jay Barry, by the way. Yo, what's up, everybody? Shout out to the great Jay Barry who's on the panel tonight. That being said, let's get to this outstanding panel I have for you guys. You guys already know the great Crap Gamer. Crap Gamer was just, he made a request. He says, listen, he goes, I want to have my steak. He doesn't eat steak. He wants it medium well. I think he said medium well, or he said, just get me chicken. Forget about the rest of it. The great Crap Gamer is back. We get what he wants in the green room. Crap, hopefully you're able to unmute because you just got to the studio. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's me. I'm here.
You are here.
Cool.
You sound like I'm here. It's me.
Man, that time flies, man. I was sitting there like chilling for a minute. Next thing you know, I think it must have like fallen asleep or something. I was just like, ugh. So then I was like, oh damn, it's like eight past. I better get on Crossfire. So
you literally just came in right now.
Yeah. I fell asleep, man. I was like, I'll chill for a minute, right? I had like 15 minutes, and I was like, I'll chill. And then next thing you know, man, I'm over there snoring, and then I was like, oh damn, I got the alert.
Crap, I would normally say this is because us getting older, but I got to be honest with you, just for some people behind the scenes, Crap would do this at 11 o'clock in the morning on Sundays, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. I mean, it depends. Like, listen, I'm excited about the stuff to talk about, but I think it is just like, it's been a long week.
It's a long week. It's a long week, but Crap, it's great to have you here, buddy. Outstanding. We got a lot of topics.
Absolutely.
I saw you were kind of on fire on Twitter today. I actually put a couple of your tweets as a couple of topics here. So when we get to them, I'll refer to your tweets from earlier today. They were outstanding. Awesome. Also like to welcome the great Jay Barry. He's back. I said, Jay, listen, I know you're doing your solo casts. Then you're doing What's Up PlayStation on Saturday. And then you're doing all of these other videos to help people with games and how to defeat bosses and secret layers and levels. He's doing so much on his channel. I said, Jay, can you take a couple of hours and hang out on Thursday night? He goes, Mooch, I'll do it. Not a problem. I'll be there. So Jay, the great Jay Barry. Jay, I couldn't pick a better week to have you than this one with the PS5 Pro coming in 2 weeks. And of course, Call of Duty, which you have a lot of opinions on. Jay, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Appreciate the invite. It's always a pleasure being on here. Where we have the most diverse topics. I see we got like about 10 of them things. Mooch, I don't know where we gonna get to it, but nah, man, always have fun coming through. And I just want to remind people that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the game of the year.
Oh, it's never too early to remind.
Put that metaphor down. Stop overhyping the game. And play a real RPG game.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm just being honest, Slow-Mo. just being honest.
You're being messy is what you're being.
It got hot.
I'm just being honest, slow mo. I'm just being honest.
It got hot in here quick. I'll tell you that.
But nah, man, we're gonna have some fun today. So hit the like button, share it out. You know what I mean? Get the clip boys ready.
Let me absolutely. You know that's coming, Jay. Listen, I feel like more of a star after the show ends. Jay, outstanding point. Listen, no better time to have Slow-Mo on. Slow-Mo, I love when you get to be on the show, and we already start this spicy. Slow-Mo, welcome back to the show. As I'll do a plug right now, DPS podcast going live 9 p.m. Eastern right after this show. But Slow-Mo has definitely graced us with his presence because I said, Slow-Mo, can you please get us in? He's doing a back-to-back podcast tonight. But Slow-Mo, welcome back to the show. How you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. I actually just got done playing, Metaphor Fantastico. That's why I call it Fantastico, because it's fucking fantastic. It's a great game. I'm having a great time with it. I'm like 50 hours in. It's awesome. Also been doing a lot of like live streaming games that I normally would not touch, but people in the DPS community want me to play games they know I hate for their own enjoyment. So why not, right? So I've been doing a lot of that, but it's been good, man. Glad to be back.
Great to have you.
By the way, Slow-Mo, I do love the game. I'm just saying, we need to pack that whole Game of the Year BS up. I'm sorry, man. I don't know if people play these type of games like that, but it is not no Game of the Year. This is Persona 6 in a new world, and everybody want new experiences. You're not getting that here. I'm sorry. I got about 30 hours in it.
Sorry, it's not a new experience. It's more of you're right, like an evolution of what you get from like the previous Persona games. But it is very well done. I think the writing is good, and I think the main protagonist is a little bit of a beta. I mean, like I just find it weird. like everyone's all like, "Oh, you're so strong, you're so brave." I'm like, "Are you serious?" This guy's
he's a pussy, man.
Yeah, I mean, like he talks like he's afraid to speak. His voice is. I mean, like voice actor did a great job, but he sounds like he's about to piss himself. I'm like,
who does?
Like, that's my real one complaint with it. Go ahead, Nip.
I was going to say, who does all the speaking for him is Stroll. Don't you find, I don't know how far into it you are, but like whenever there's a pivotal moment where, you need to rally the crowd and make your case for the contest or whatever, it's always Stroll who does the talking. He's like,
it's like he's really the main character. You know what I'm saying? He's got that main character personality. Like he's all
exactly. Exactly.
He's all like virtuous and like, let's go rah, let's stop them. Like he's all the valiant guy, and then your main character is like, let's go do that. I'm just like, you don't shut up. Like, do you agree? I agree.
I love it. No, I love that too. He just stays quiet and meek in the corner, and I'm just like, bro, you're supposed to run the country. Speak, damn it! I think rally these people.
Who should be our captain? Oh yeah, the guy that we keep forgetting is in the room. I'm like, what?
yeah.
I will say this though, you guys made a good point.
Fantastic game. I do like how they kind of ramped up the difficulty a bit. Like you could be in a battle, and then like out of nowhere, if you don't know the enemy that you're fighting and you use like the wrong spell, get reflected, your whole party getting wiped out. You're like, God dang. Like it's good. It's good. I enjoy it. Persona 5 and 4.
I like the difficulty, but you got a whole rewind button. I'm sorry, man. Yo, listen, y'all want to play a difficult RPG, a real RPG? Go ahead and play that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Go for that platinum and come back to me talking about metaphor difficulty and see. Let's have that conversation.
You know what I'll say about metaphor?
I'm sorry, Slow-Mo. I'm not bad.
You can actually, you can pretty much break the game because there's so many options available in the game. I think I may have kind of broken it because with my build now and the one I'm building to at the moment, it's basically unbeatable even on hard. Like I don't know how anything could touch me. So I'll see with the final boss. Like my goal is to try and beat the final boss without him even getting a turn. I reckon I can do it.
Are you using the what is it called? The fakery? I forgot the name of the spell, but it's like it gives you it's random, but it can give you like a bunch of extra turns before the enemy.
At the moment, I'm using Tycoon, but I'm trying to build up to have Tycoon with double crit damage, double crit chance, and also there's this weapon that gives you 3 times critical damage if you wear it. So I've got that, and then I've got the again, I don't want to give spoilers, but the main character, he's like in his final form, so he's got a high crit attack as well. And then my other two people have.
I don't get that crit. I'm resetting that battle.
Yeah, so my other two characters, my other two characters have high agility and double turn, and I have them do the stuff that gives like reducing.
Yeah, hold on, Nib. Hold on, Nib. Slow-mo. Yeah. I don't know who the hell you guys think you are. Okay, y'all are interrupting Mooch's intro.
Listen,
you know what I mean? We gotta get to Game Pass, man. We gotta bash Game Pass.
That's right,
we
Jay.
Can't talk about games on a gaming podcast.
I will say,
is that what we doing?
I will say
My
this
bad.
though.
I forgot. My bad. Let's talk about Game Pass.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut that entire clip and make a metaphor how-to video out of that right there. That's fine, guys. You just made me a new video. No, getting back to that, Slow-Mo, great to have you here. Outstanding. Let's just go ahead and introduce the great Nib. You guys already know. Nib, great to have you here as well tonight. We know what game you're in favor of right now, putting your time, hard effort, and tears and sweat into in metaphor. But nonetheless, Nib, how you doing tonight, buddy? And welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm locked into metaphor at the moment. I've just been playing it hardcore because I don't like jump around with multiple games like it sounds like you guys do. When I'm usually like when I play a game, I'm focused.
Well, that's a good practice.
Story, I don't.
Yeah, that's good practice. You know.
And it's interesting because metaphor, like I am loving it. I have issues with it, but I find like because it has so much strategy, it also gives you the option to really make the game quite easy if you experiment with builds and stuff, which I suppose is good. It's rewarding in a way because it's like, here's the reward for your time investment and for thinking outside the box. But if you do, you can make it really easy, even on the hardest difficulty.
Well, nothing like that. I think you guys, 15 people just bought the game in the chat. I see. You guys are outstanding at selling that. Listen, let's get to the great Death Singer.
It's a great game. It is a great game. All jokes aside, it's a great game.
Well, the demo's out there, guys. I played the demo. The demo's outstanding. Shout out to a lot of people here. I see. Let me just give a couple shout outs real quick. Jay Barry says, "What's up, everybody?" JC 2013 says he gifted 1 Mooch membership. Jay, thank you. The great Donnell Brown's here. Donnell, who bashed on my Mets for an entire week. He's still doing it. Shout out to Donnell. Hit that like button if you're not a fraud. The great Slow-Mo Backslap, everybody. He's also a family member. Donnell says the champ is here. And RPG 88, he says Call of Duty Eve. Absolutely, buddy. It's listen, whether you like the game, you don't like the game, we're going to get into it. But in all honesty, it's a big deal, right? People are talking about it. People are excited. And people who aren't even getting it today are probably going to have it by the holidays. The great Death Singer is here as well. Singer, I've got at least 2 topics that are designated for you. I saw your tweets also out there, starting all that hate train out there. But Singer, outstanding to have you here tonight, buddy. How you doing?
Well, I'm live from New Zealand right now. Shout out to playing that Black Ops. Also, why are people talking about RPGs that are training wheels? Play a real RPG like Baldur's Gate 3, which actually requires skill, knowledge, tactics. Use your brain.
Here it comes.
I mean, see, like people talk about difficulty, and it's like one save file, permadeath.
He don't know. I play Baldur's Gate 3, but he don't know. Go for that play.
No.
You played Rebirth?
No, you don't know about honor mode. You don't know about honor mode in Baldur's Gate 3 because if you knew that, RNG is actively against you. Everything hits harder. Everything goes against you, and you only got 1 slave slot. You can't no slave slots.
Hey, I'm not discrediting it. I'm not taking it away, but the fact that you ain't played Rebirth yet, because I'm pretty sure you waiting for the PC, we'll come back and have that conversation, brother. Yeah. Because I know if you go for that 100% or whatever they call it on Steam, I promise you it's going to be very, very low. It's low right now on the PlayStation.
Singer, did you play Remake yet?
Nearly. I got about halfway through and then I dropped it. But I modded it.
So don't even play Rebirth because you're not going to know what's going on.
Oh no.
Another thing as well.
I mean, if I would finish it, I would. But then it's
Mooch, mute his mic.
I know, right? I was just gonna say, let me save him real quick.
The disrespect, not when I'm a guest, Mooch. I'm sorry, not when he's not going to disrespect the game of the generation on my. Oh, when I'm
here.
I mean, to be honest, it ain't the game. The Baldur's Gate 3 is clearly because Hey man, it just is what it is.
Listen, let me tell you this much. I'll tell you this much.
You know what,
real quick, you've got Persona. Persona, the great game of Persona, who's in the chat. Persona is not a rage gamer, but Persona's listening to this conversation, and I can see him just absolutely slamming his controller on the table right now in disbelief. Jay, you know Persona's not liking this at all. Persona's not happy with this conversation and where it's going against all this rebirth slander.
Oh nah, listen, man, not on my watch. I'm gonna give Singer, the benefit of the doubt because I'm pretty sure he'll smarten up one day and start playing great games. But
to be fair, we're talking about a potential game of the year, maybe possibly, and an actual game of the year. And not only a game of the year that won every single major game of the year award. No other game has done that. But apart from that, and it's a massive seller, outsell that. But then you also go, well, Rebirth is fine, but you need your PS5 Pro to have a decent performance mode. I don't need that with Baldur's Gate 3. You get what you get,
One thing I will say about
Baldur's Gate 3 performance was not good. What are you talking about? You see, that's the bias what he's talking about right there. You all crazy. But go ahead, my bad,
Singer, you know the thing with like a difficulty on PC games. I find a lot of PC gamers. Maybe you're not one of these, Singer. I don't know, but that I know in my like mutuals and friends and stuff. They will just mod the shit out of that shit anyway. So whenever they need to do something, if something's too challenging, they just tweak like a setting that gives them more of this or more of that or whatever.
And they cheat.
There is a bit of that. But it's like, for the most part, most people do the challenger mode because they actually play these kinds of games. Console guys don't really play it, Baldur's Gate 3 was their first CRPG. So, they're kind of new to the train. But, if you actually want difficulty, there's no training wheels.
No, he don't know, Ned. He don't know, man. It's okay. I feel the ignorance from him, but
I'm beating it. I'm beating the game, so how much harder is Honor mode?
Very much harder. Like all the the RNG on the dice rolls is actively against you. Like when you go into it, like everything is harder, even down to the dice rolls. So stuff you would have got away with on normal mode, you can't get away with, and you only have one save slot, right? So if it auto saves and you fuck up, well, you need to be saving every 2 seconds because if something fucks up, you can't go back. And if you fail in honor mode, they downgrade you to challenger mode, and you have to restart all over the game again in order to get honor mode. So it's
have you beaten it in honor mode?
I'm currently playing it in honor mode.
Yeah, how far
ridiculous. I've got up to chapter 2.
I'm pretty sure by YouTube's rules. I'm pretty sure by YouTube's rules, I'm going to have to add Baldur's Gate 3 to the title at this point.
I mean, it's the greatest RPG this generation,
All right, well, listen, it did really, really well last year, Singer. You do realize that, right? That game did very well in all the awards.
Yeah, I know it did really, really well, and everyone acted brand new, and we've been playing CRPGs for years, but everyone called them top-down PC garbage. I know.
This is a good segue, actually. So, the issue I have, which I loved Baldur's Gate 3, I think I spent 175 hours in it. So I did love the game, but I think the issue I have with it, and similar to Metaphor, which actually Rebirth does really well, is the diversity of mechanics and how often it mixes things up for you. Because the thing with Rebirth, even from the demo, right? If you take the Metaphor demo, I don't know how long it is, 5-6 hours or something, and you compare it to the first 5-6 hours of Rebirth, in the first 5-6 hours of Rebirth, you have a dolphin minigame. You're on Chocobo, climbing up walls. You're doing the Junon stuff with all the with the trying to get your troops, and then you do the whole I don't know what you call it, the showcase. And so it's not just doesn't just have combat gameplay. It's constantly mixing things up with mini games and divergent gameplay. So that stuff to me is interesting and keeps things fresh and exciting, right? But what I found with Baldur's Gate 3 was especially in Act 3, I felt like it was too repetitive and had too much dialogue and too much exposition dumps. you'll meet like 50 different characters and 50 different side quests all in one go, and I was like, chill, like this is a bit much now. Like,
how is the performance, Nick?
In Act 3.
Act 3, the performance is horrible.
It's definitely quiet now, right?
No, I'm actually not quiet.
The whole audacity of this man talking about performance mode.
No,
Final Fantasy.
To be honest, though, I'm not quiet on it because yes, it did have, but you have to understand how complex the game is. Like Rebirth, okay, you have all these running on chocobos and shit, but if you're actually, to Nib's point, if you're talking about player agency, Baldur's Gate 3 completely nukes it, because Baldur's Gate 3 is do whatever the fuck you want as soon as you spawn in the world. You pick a direction, go that way and see what happens. There is no set path for you in the game. You make your own path. In Rebirth, there is a set path. You will
so I agree with that.
Will do that.
That doesn't mean...
I do...
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say I agree with that, but the thing is, the actual gameplay loop is still quite cyclic, because even if you do have all that freedom, you do kind of end up doing the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again, right? You do. Like, again, I've got 170 hours.
I'm going to say this, we can't go after Dragon's Dogma 2 for being trash in the cities when it comes to performance, and then hand wash away the trash performance in the city for Baldur's Gate 3 and Act 3.
Yeah.
Nah, like it's the same thing. And part of the reason why the performance is so bad is that the sheer number of like NPCs that are there and all
the sheer amount of everything.
But you don't having an NPC do like 20 different things when it's a stupid NPC that no one cares about is kind of worthless, especially if it kills your performance. So it's like maybe take like half of them away. You don't need the city don't need to look like a bustling city if you don't have the actual like even on a 4090 and the best CPU out there, it's crippling it. It's just like that's not smart. So, like, Dragon's Dogma 2 had the same issue, and people called them out for it. And the only people who were defending it is Dragon Dogma fans, which is like 20 of them. I know that's an insult.
Yeah, that's rough.
And then, and the only people who are really defending Baldur's Gate 3's Act 3 is Baldur's Gate fans, and y'all need to just cut the cat. Just cut it out. It's bad. It's bad performance.
Everyone knows the performance is. Thing is, everyone knows that they've improved it. Now, after all the patches
you just bash Rebirth for improving the image quality, not performance, image quality when it came to the Pro.
Hey, I mean, your blurry ass performance mode. I mean, both games have problems, right? I mean,
he just wanted to talk about it was blurry. That's all he wanted to say. He just wanted to say it was blurry.
But actually, back to the original point. If you want a true RPG, you'd want to play something like Baldur's Gate. Because it actually gives you the true experience rather than a scripted...
the dialogue parts.
Well, I mean, hey...
Rebirth has as much, or probably even, in my opinion, better, even when it comes to strategy, with the combat. Your combat in Rebirth is very deep and layered. And like I said, when you go for that platinum trophy, you're gonna have to definitely experiment with different builds and strategies because it is not an easy thing. But I'm not disrespecting Baldur's Gate, but I'm just letting you know, you play that Rebirth and then we have that conversation. We'll circle back.
He's not gonna get to Rebirth. I'm just gonna say,
Final Fantasy combat modern isn't as deep as a game like that because the combat is so in depth between classes.
You ain't play it.
How do you say that? When you didn't play the game, Singer, you can't say the combat's not deep. What are you basing it on? What are you basing your...
After playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, what I played of it.
Yo, Rebirth and Remake is two different ballparks.
I know it's two different ballparks. I know it's two.
They actually expanded the combat from Remake and Rebirth.
They
made it better. You can't say because I play Remake's combat that I know what Rebirth's combat is like. Again, you haven't played the game. You don't know that. And you can't make a comparison of one game's combat to another game's combat when you've only played one of the two games.
You know this, Singer. Those are the rules.
I know those are the rules. Baldur's Gate combat is more in depth because it requires more thinking.
Hey, I respect Singer, man.
I do too. No, Singer plays his games, man. He definitely plays. Speaking of that,
multi-class.
I will tell you
this. look, depth is not in of itself the most important thing, right? It's fun factor as well. I will say out of the three, like Metaphor, Baldur's Gate 3, and Rebirth, and I say this as someone who's in the very last few weeks of, as in game days of Metaphor, and who beat the other two games. Rebirth definitely had the most fun combat for me personally. I would actually put Metaphor probably ahead of Baldur's Gate if I'm honest with myself.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to question it because that's your opinion, but it's kind of wrong because the Baldur's Gate combat, in honor mode in particular, is like everything has to be pixel perfect. Like you have to think about the moves. Because enemy encounters are just so much harder, and the AI is actually good. So,
I get that, but we're not talking about difficulty. I'm talking about like fun factor, right?
Well, fun. Have you ever transformed into a bear and randomly shove someone off the cliff into the thing?
But then the Metaphor has the cool thing of the archetypes, right? Like every different type of archetype.
Persona. It's basically personas.
It is persona, yeah. It is pretty much. But that stuff is still.
I wish you could switch the archetypes in battle though, but.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. That's what they need to do.
That would be. It's good they allow you to do it like say like already in the dungeon. That you can switch archetypes, but like a lot of times I'll be in mid battle and I'm like, oh man, I really need this other archetype that has this other like debuff spell.
How far along are you, Slow-Mo? Slow-Mo, how far along are you in Metaphor?
You can kind of
like
do
50 hours into it now.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if you have a certain weakness towards attack, you just got to hold that throughout that whole battle. You know what I mean? Like you can't just like
you can.
And even doing the rewind doesn't help because you can't change anything. So it's like you really kind of just need to just like lose so that you can go back to your save.
You can kind of do it actually because I don't know if you've got this far yet, but you can switch out your characters to the ones in reserve. So as long as you have,
I can do that.
Yeah.
But if your characters in reserve also don't have what you need in your SOL.
Yeah. So I try to balance them out.
That's good to know. No.
Yeah. So as long as you balance out your abilities and to have different elements and stuff, you can just half a turn. That's all it takes. Especially certain archetypes, if you level them up, it removes that cost for the turn, so you can actually do it without even costing a turn. And that way you can always have every element covered.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but
the only limitation is if you have a character that's dead. Or they are currently suffering from something, then they can't be switched out. Like
I'm going to need to start game sharing with Nib and Slow-Mo Backslap. That's for damn sure. These guys, I tell you, the only two people on the panel who have not played Baldur's Gate is myself and the Great Crap Gamer. I can tell you that much right now. That's a fact. I like how Deathsinger used one of my old tactics. Crap,
from damn right.
He used one of my old tactics. He goes, I hear what you're saying, but let me tell you how you're wrong. He hit him with a Moochism from long distance. Singer, great to have that conversation. I do want to kind of get back a little bit to the Call of Duty era here as we step back into today. I do appreciate that conversation, and this is the reason I'm probably going to buy Metaphor, is these guys. These guys cost me another $70 on top of the $70 I just spent on Call of Duty. Nonetheless, Crap, I'm going to start with you on this one here because I know you're a big fan of the single player. You've been waiting for the big, explosion. You have to have that outstanding follow Captain Stu Nuts through the dark, barely see any of the enemies you're going to be shooting. You'll be doing that tomorrow night. What do you think about Call of Duty Black Ops 6? I mean, realistically, I want to know, are you playing it on Game Pass? Are you buying it on Xbox? Are you buying it somewhere else? And what's the deal with it?
Here's the thing, right? Like, I wasn't a huge fan of Modern Warfare 3 campaign. I thought it was really, really bad. But I thought that the gameplay for the multiplayer was actually pretty good. So I kind of enjoyed that. I'm going to give Black Ops a try. I'm just going to play it through Game Pass. Why not? I have Game Pass until next year sometime.
That's right.
It just kind of is what it is. Like, if it's really good and I'm just like, oh man, I gotta definitely get, then I'll buy it. It's not really a big deal one way or the other. But for right now, I'm just gonna try it out on Game Pass and see what's up with it. I mean, it looks like it's pretty decent. I haven't seen as much like advertising for this Call of Duty as I've seen from some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's up with that. But I mean, the game itself looks pretty good. They had a pretty good length of developer time to kind of put this together. And so, just in general, I think the Black Ops games are pretty good. So I'm glad they're kind of going back to that or whatever. Like the Black Ops and the Modern Warfare ones have been my favorite since forever. So, I'm kind of looking forward to jumping in and seeing, what's going to piss me off in the multiplayer, that kind of stuff. Because, there's going to be something that pisses you off, and it's just like you gotta find it.
There's a new Omni. There's that new Omni point system there. I'm calling it Omni point. It's something, and it's where you can. I know that Jay, and shout out to Persona. I don't want to put words in their mouth. Jay's here. Jay, I know that you said the crap was saying there seems to be something every single game that kind of aggravates. Sometimes it's time to kill. That's too little, too late. Sometimes it's going to be this movement. Now, I will say, Jay, I saw that you weren't a big fan. And Jay, if I'm wrong, please correct me. It was a while ago when you tweeted this out. You said something like you didn't care for that movement. Crap makes a good point. I did play a few rounds before the beta ended, and I played without using that OmniPoint movement. You could still play and enjoy the game without having to dive all over the place. I know that some of the enemies that you'll be facing in the multiplayer will be using it constantly. But Jay, is that one of the things that kind of got under your skin for this beta, or no, that wasn't a problem?
Oh, no. Listen, I love the gameplay for the beta. I love the Omni movement. When you have movement option like that, I love the hell out of it. That's why I love Treyarch Call of Duties the most, because they never really dumbed down any type of the movement. It's always more a fast pace, more versatile when it just comes to your traversal options in a Treyarch game. So yeah, the Omni movement, in my opinion, I think they can't go back from that. Every other game needs to have that type of movement, because the things that you can do, how you can just maneuver on people, is very addicting and fun. My biggest issue with the beta is the things. It's not the gameplay itself. It's just the things that Call of Duty every year seems to not get right, and that's the spawns. The spawns are terrible in the beta, and the server hitching that happens. I don't know what is making it happen. A lot of people have different theories. I've heard people say that it's because they're texture streaming assets to the game, and I don't know. There's times where I'm running on somebody, I'm about to gun him down, and I get this server hitch, and I just die. I'm just like, oh, okay, and that was happening a lot during the beta, so that was ruining my experience. You had all these movement options and things like that, but I kept going through those issues. It got better during the second week, but it still was happening, and the spawns was just terrible. Lot of kill somebody, they spawn legit right in front of you or behind you. You're controlling a point. You're controlling the point in a specific mode or objective gameplay, and enemies are spawning in your spawn. Meanwhile, you're just spawning in one spot at the same time. I was like, yo, it's getting a little crazy, But other than that, yeah, I do. Listen, I love Call of Duty, but it's just those little things that annoys me about the game, because I'm not one of these dudes that that's putting 30 hours. I'm like, yeah, I'm having fun. No, I'm putting hundreds, almost 1,000 hours in Call of Duty. You know what I mean? So I'm playing it constantly, so I'm experiencing these things. Even in the beta, I got 50, 60 hours in the beta. So when I speak on these things, it's not because I'm just Xbox bought. No, I'm speaking from my experience. This is what I'm going through. But eventually I will get the game. Because I love Treyarch. It's one of my favorite studios in general. But I'm gonna wait a week just to see the people that I play with, certain content creators that I trust, what the community is saying a little bit, and then I'll dive in. But yeah, that was me.
No, that was Nib. That was Nib.
No, it looks like Nib. Yeah,
yo. That was it was like a Halloween sound.
They're doing Halloween sounds on Discord, guys. If you hear
that, yeah, listen.
I didn't hear anything.
I lift up my headphones real quick and I check to see if somebody's behind me.
I got you out.
You thought you was about to get
Halloween sound threw me out.
Yo,
you thought Michael Myers was coming.
He thought Michael Myers was
I
on the way.
I thought something was coming. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm very excited. But we'll see.
Man, but Barry got Diddy and that baby oil behind him. Better watch out.
Yo, another thing too, man. When it comes to Call of Duty, and they slightly address these things, is really and truly skill-based matchmaking ruins Call of Duty a lot. It's like nobody really had the same experience on Call of Duty, you know? And yeah, like if you're up there, if you got a high score per minute, if you got a high kill death ratio, it really doesn't benefit you playing Call of Duty, you know, because it's just going to get these lobbies that don't run well, because they're prioritizing the skill rather than connection. So sometimes, yeah, you know what I mean. So it that part sucks. It kind of dampens the experience, but at the end of the day, I'll be lying to anyone if I say I don't love Call of Duty. I don't like playing it. I do. You know, it's my pastime. So,
well, you know, so Jay, you made some really good points of the positives and negatives that you kind of had through Slow-Mo. You know, people keep saying you're the, you know, Brap of course is the main culprit, saying you're the, you know, you're the FPS guru. So Slow-Mo, if that's the case, like
good old Brap.
Yes, Crap. We hear your sound effects, Crap. We hear them.
Oh, that's Crap.
That's Crap.
Crap, you son of a gun.
Oh shit! You guys hear that stuff?
Yes.
Damn.
I'm like, what the hell?
My bad.
I'm like, Crap will do a couple of things. I'm like, but if he's doing it that much, it's got to be deliberate. What the hell?
Yeah, because it was
messing around with stuff.
It was that. It was that, and it had like a Halloween noise that came in. So
no, the Halloween noise is Discord. Everything after the Halloween noise was Crap. I can see his name blowing up while he's doing it. I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
I had no idea, man. I was just like amusing myself, right? It's like, I don't know.
Now I got to add a new rule to the list. Thank you very much. Don't forget to tip your waitress. So Slow-Mo, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, what's your prerogative on this? I mean, people are waiting to hit the buy button till they hear from you, Slow-Mo. What do you think?
Hey, look, if you like Call of Duty, you're going to enjoy it. If you don't, then you're probably going to be one of those people that say, I'll just play the campaign and that's it. I mean, I don't really think it's like anything that is going into Game Pass. I mean, this is probably the biggest game that's ever been in Game Pass up to now, but like, I don't really think it's going to change anything as far as like numbers drastically like that. Most people, if you already have Game Pass and you like Call of Duty, then you're probably just play it through there, or maybe get the Vault Edition. And because it's only going to be $30 if you play it through Game Pass.
That's right.
Or if you play Call of Duty on other platforms, which is the vast majority of the people that play Call of Duty, you're just going to continue to get it where you get it because you like your ecosystem and you like where you're playing it at, and you've been spending $70 to $100 annually on it anyway. So you're just going to continue to keep doing what you're doing instead of trying to play it in a different ecosystem or a different console. So it is what it is. I've been playing. I got back into Call of Duty maybe about 4 years ago. I took a break on it for a while, but since I've been playing it again, it's been in my multiplayer rotation. Like, I enjoy playing COD, but then like I agree with Bari. So for me, it's kind of weird because it's like, and I remember talking to a friend of mine, and like I'm talking to my friend while I'm playing, and I'm complaining about a lot of the things that Bari talks about, and my friend's just like, so why do you play this? Because you don't seem like you like. But it's like, no, look, I'm having fun. It's just like I don't like the fact that like clearly that guy's a cheater. Let me report him. I don't like the fact that these spawns suck. I don't like. It's just like there's a lot of things
people don't understand that.
About.
People don't understand that with multiplayer Slow-Mo. Like, yeah, just because you're raging or you're screaming doesn't mean that you're not having fun. That's part of the experience. It's part of the fun. You know,
that's right.
Yeah, you don't like those little things. You know what I mean, with hitches and shit like that. But at the end of the day, you're playing multiplayer. You don't know what's going to happen. So you're going to be emotional. Yeah. You know.
As soon as I see that, like looking for a match, and I see that ping go up to above 80 milliseconds. I'm like,
yep.
Back
be
out,
like 100 and change, 200.
Back out, start again. Oh, it did again. Back out, start again. Give me a good match. You know, like these are things that like I would love for it to at least be a mode where it's not like kind of like what X Defiant does, but a better game than X Defiant, you know. But like X Defiant in his I forgot what it is. It's casual modes. There's no matchmaking. I'm sorry, not matchmaking. There's no skill-based matchmaking, but they have it in ranked. I think that's like the best way to do it. Just, if you want skill-based matchmaking, you know where to go. Go to ranked. You're going to be matched up against people that, are at your level, and you're not going to get any kind of variance based off of associate the ping and XDefiant. It's about ping. So it's like, I look at it. I don't have anyone in my lobbies that's, well, I used to play, I don't play anymore. That was like over like a 30 or 40 ping. So it's just like, that should be the best way to go about it. But they don't want to do that. And I think part of the reason they want to do that, the data they have says that when they do that, casual players get curb stomped in one really bad match. They get PTSD or something. They quit the game. And they want people to keep buying the battle passes, playing all year long. They don't want them to quit after like a month or two. I understand the rationale behind it, but I just think in the long run, the detriment to everyone else, the overall experience of the people who aren't going to quit just because they got trashed in one match, it just kind of makes the whole experience not as fun. But all that said, I'm gonna have a good time.
That's the journey, man. Like when I started playing Call of Duty, I was getting bodied. I was getting destroyed, and I had to get good. You know what I mean? I had to learn map awareness. I had to learn how spawns work.
That's right.
And get good. Eventually, 'cause I don't want to keep going 10 and 20. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I know that's a good score for some of y'all. That's not, but nah, you know what I mean? You got to get good. But the thing is, like, I don't mind that they have skill-based matchmaking. It's just too strict. It's too strict on how they do it, man. Like, you got to be going, you got to do like horrible for like 5-10 games before it can be like, hey, a match with 40 to 50 ping. And the game feels so much different when you playing in like a 40 to 50 ping compared to 150 to game with 200 ping. Like you normally would play, cause they trying to base your skill on everybody, man. It's terrible sometimes, man. That's why it's really fun, like playing with a community a lot. Solo playing on Call of Duty, like it kind of ruined it a little bit because you're not getting those lower pin lobbies like that solo wise, but.
No, Jay, you made a good point. Honestly, I hate to interrupt. I generally will go back to the super chats at the end of the topic, but for some reason the super chats are not showing up again on my OBS. It usually does report over there, so I can read them later. But let me just read these. Babor Contra is here. The actual show can start. Great to have Babor here. I don't know why Babor wrote this super chat. I appreciate it. I don't remember us talking about this even when we were talking about the RPGs and JRPGs before. I don't remember. He says, from Porter Rock's podcast last night, he says, streamers are, I'm just going to say, not good for gaming. I'm not going to use his words. I know what it means, but I'm not going to use that. He says, why stream a brand new game? Limit first 5 hours. If you can't do it for movies and music, gaming has both. It'll help sales a lot. So he does not like that you're allowed to stream games.
You should have used the word he used.
I did. Listen, but the meaning of it is brutal. So I don't want to say. But anyway,
he hates you streamers, man.
He doesn't like. I stream sometimes.
He pulled out a dictionary in that.
He did. I was like, I ain't going there. I ain't go. Shout out to the great Jimmy Harris. He says, "Damn, good to see you, brothers." Jimmy, great to have the great Jimmy Harrison with us. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that. I do want to get these super chats because as you let the chat continue to scroll, they will fade out. Shout out to the great T-Rock 40. He says, this is way more entertaining than Game Pass. Isn't that the truth, T-Rock? Thank you. Crap, of course, he says, crap, can you keep up the sound effects? T-Rock, don't encourage him. He will. Thank you, Crap. Appreciate that. Go ahead.
Before you move on,
I'm not moving on yet.
One thing about Call of Duty.
Oh, we're not done. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was going to say to you, Slow-Mo, my next question, kind of follow up for you or Jay, whoever wanted to get into it. Anyone can take the mic at this point. Is, the one thing you said about Call of Duty, especially when you're talking about the multiplayer, and Jay, you and shout out to Persona again, you guys would do Call of Duty Sundays, and you guys did that for quite some time. I know Persona did it for a while. And I think sometimes, though, you'll find the multiplayer, a lot of people play it because a lot of people have shifted over to Warzone, me being one of them. I'll play the multiplayer to level up my guns, get what I want to get, and then I move. I basically, the minute I get what I want to get out of the gun that they don't nerf, or buff, I'll then move back over to Warzone and play there. My point being with this is I did want to kind of bring up the whole, because you know what's going to happen in a week, right? You guys do realize that, right? We're going to see Aaron Greenberg has come back from the dead. He came back on Twitter. He's like, I can't wait. Call of Duty's back. I haven't seen Aaron in a while. He's back.
The man hasn't played Call of Duty in his life.
Of course not. But I mean, at the same time, he's going to be out there next week being like, we saw a 4,000% increase in Game Pass. Right? So that's going to be next week. But my question is,
I think you will see an increase in Game Pass. I don't know how large it's going to be, but
of course there'll be.
I don't think that'll be super significant, but it'll be an increase.
I think
Call of Duty is a huge game, so there's going to be some.
It is, but people like to own. People like to buy the game, Jay. I mean, people who like Call of Duty have been buying Call of Duty since the early 2000s. Okay,
I feel like the people that play Call of Duty, most likely you're going to be buying that. But if you're somebody that is like, foot in, foot out, you don't really play Call of Duty like that, you most likely will probably subscribe to something like Game Pass because it's not like a mainstay type thing for you. I think anybody that just plays Call of Duty or 2 games a year is not going to be like, oh, let me subscribe to Game Pass for 12 months to play Call of Duty.
That's my point.
You pay more.
You get a 3-month
subscription than just playing. Just paying for Call of Duty straight up and just getting the battle passes. I actually kind of feel like they made a mistake with this one in particular with not staggering the modes like they did with, say, like last year and the year before. They put the campaign out early. So that, and then they put incentives in playing the campaign. You would get skins from the characters in the campaign in the multiplayer and in Warzone. Like that incentivized people who would normally not even touch the campaign to play through the campaign. And hey, maybe they actually enjoyed and they actually just want to play the campaign next year just because the previous one they thought was good. When you don't do that now those people are just like, now when everything is all out all at one time, the people are just going to go play the mode they care about the most. I care about zombies, so I'm not playing the campaign. I'm just going to play zombies. It's just I think
that's a good point. So
one thing I could say that I feel like is going to happen, especially the first month, is that you're going to see an uptick in Game Pass.
Absolutely,
but people might drop that right after because people forget the biggest mode in Call of Duty is Warzone.
That's right.
And Warzone is free to play.
That's right.
So when that new update for Warzone hit, the person that playing Call, they might be playing it. Oh, let me try it out Game Pass for that 1 month. But when they mode the newness comes, they
think about what I said too. Think about this point real quick, and then I'll give you the mic. Nib. Is this okay? Even if you're a hardcore fan and you say, no, Mooch, you just said it yourself. If people are playing Warzone for the long haul, they want to go back to Call of Duty. They want to go back to multiplayer to be able to rank up those guns that maybe they didn't before. That is true. But that kind of leads to my point. Why would you want to continue to pay $20 a month if you're playing this thing and that's your game of choice? That's your main game. Just buy the game at that point if you're going to continue to go back to the multiplayer. So you don't want to just kind of string yourself along for $20 a month when you can get this thing for $69.99 and probably for $49.99 around the holidays. Go ahead, Nip.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the thing I'm curious about to see how it plays out is the bulk of Game Pass subscribers are actually still on console. I know there was this thing on LinkedIn that threw people off, that made people think maybe it was more on PC, but it turns out the person wasn't talking about total subscriber numbers, but how many they've had recurring. Like, so there's a lot of turnover on the PC side. Basically, some people subscribe, then unsubscribe, then subscribe. So they were counting the number as in all the people who had ever subscribed, not that were concurrently subscribed. So the majority, based on the FTC leaks, is on console. But what I'm curious to know is what percentage of the people who are already signed up to Game Pass on Xbox, whatever that is, say 15 million or whatever, maybe more, are going to no longer buy Call of Duty, because maybe they would have been consumers that historically did purchase the game, but now they don't need to because they're already subscribed. So it may not necessarily be additive revenue. It could just be, so that's what I'm curious to see. And like it's going to be fascinating to see what their financials are after this, how much it sells, whether there's any cannibalization of sales, or whether, like Slow-Mo said, it's just people like, look, at the end of the day, I only play 1 or 2 games. Maybe I play Call of Duty and NBA or whatever else. It's not worth it for me to subscribe to Game Pass, or maybe a good percentage of those people already subscribed are the kinds of people who used to historically buy it. Because the thing is, even though Xbox sales splits are quite low on most multi-platform games, Call of Duty is actually one of the ones where their split is actually slightly higher. It's not equal to the install difference, but higher than most other games because, a lot of people on that platform do love shooters and multiplayer games. So actually there is still a sizable chunk of Xbox gamers who play Call of Duty. So there is a risk of some cannibalization. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it could be really interesting.
Detzinger, what's your take? And I saw you wanting to chime in as well. I do want to get your take on this for sure.
All right, so currently playing it. I optimized some settings because I did a little Google because I had issues in the beta where the game would hitch. There'd be insane packet burst. There'll be a ton of hitching. It'd crash every other game. So it's really, really bad. So I went in. I'm glad it saved my settings from the beta because I went into the settings, and this is a pro tip for all of you. I don't know if they have the options to adjust it on console. I know you do on PC, though. So what you want to do is set your on-demand texture streaming to minimal. Then you want to turn download limit on for texture streaming and set the daily download limit to only 1 gigabyte. And then the allocated texture cast size to 16 units. And it is running beautifully. No hitching anymore. The game isn't crashing. I'm having a fantastic experience. So go into the settings.
What's your GPU?
Currently 3080.
Oh, okay.
He sounded disappointed. Slow-mo.
No, I was just because I'm like I don't normally have those kind, but I have a 4080 Super right now, so I don't know. I haven't played the campaign yet. I'll see.
It wasn't like a GPU issue. It was like a server issue that was going on. It was
a server issue. But bear in mind, I'm also playing it through Game Pass. I'm not in the beta as well. I was playing it through Game Pass, and I'm playing it through Steam. So it might have just been a Windows Store issue, which it could have been.
That probably is exactly what it is, because the Xbox PC app is dumpster juice. It's terrible. and I'm a little upset that they own BattleNet, but they won't let you use your Game Pass subscription on BattleNet that they own, so that you can just play it there on the better.
That's right.
The better launcher. It's stupid. But go ahead.
But as I said, it's now playing it on the Windows Store, I'm having a flawless experience. So either they fix the server issues, but it also probably helps that those settings I listed, you go into the settings, you can lower a whole bunch of the settings. You don't need half of them on, trust me, because it hurts your FPS. It doesn't do much visually for it. Because I am, shout out to the website Dexerto. They always do high-level PC optimizations for shooting games, and I went on there, and they were the ones that told me about change your on-demand texture streaming, and it's a lot better, the game. Now, the actual gameplay, some of the maps are good, some of the maps are absolutely terrible. Red Card, horrible map. Is just Campfest City, because it incentivizes you to, because there's so many different doorways and roofs, and ins and outs. You just get shot all over the place, so you have to slowly camp around the corners and crawl around, because
that could be because it's new too. When a game is new and a map is new, people don't really want to run around and learn it. They're trying to slow roll it.
Even then, it's on the map. There's a balcony that looks over one of the spawns. And it's one of the main spawns, so you could just spawn kill people. You could just sit up in that balcony, and you could just kill people as they spawn, and you could just stay up there forever, call it a gunship, and you just stay there. And there's only one way up to the balcony, which is the stairs. Just one stairs up, so you could just turn around, kill people coming up the stairs, and that's it. There's no counterplay to it. So some of the maps have issues. The spawns do have issues, but overall, the gameplay is really, really fun. I like it. Some of the new guns that weren't in the beta, some of the new perks and kill score streaks, they're pretty good. So overall, it is a fun time. There are issues with, I immediately click skip on a couple of maps, and some of the game modes are really, really bad. HQ really, really sucks on some of these maps. The way the HQ spawn in the game, it's they spawn, there's no, in the open. So you're trying to defend it, and you just get like 50 grenades from every direction. It's a whole mess. So it's got issues, but it's fun.
Well, I mean, every year there's certain issues. I don't think anything you said was a showstopper at all.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm excited to play it. Who was just about to say something? Was that Jay?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, like, for the people who spent a lot of time with the with the beta, if you had to guess how it is going to be critically received, where are you aiming? Like, what ballpark? Obviously, the single player is going to be completely different, but within the multiplayer realm, what are you saying?
You think that you're talking about the score?
Like 82, 85?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people, it's going to take a while to get used to that Omni movement, and I don't think reviewers are going to be playing the game how they intended it to be, or how you wanted to learn the movement. So they're gonna look at that as like, oh, this game is unbearable because people are just zipping around the place and moving. Where just learn how to the new movement. I don't think they're gonna go that far. So yeah, but I think the game is going to be great. So I say around 82, 85.
Yeah, I think that's a fair score, Jay. Shout out to Ricardo. The one thing I always go back and forth with Ricardo every week, he says here, I just want to show you guys, he says, Mooch, if I buy Call of Duty, Stalker 2, Indiana Jones, $70 at three of those at $70 a pop, $210, it's $240 for Game Pass. Well, let me use a little bit of the reverse psychology that everybody uses on PlayStation fans a lot of the time. Well, Ricardo, who says that everybody wants to play Stalker 2, wants to play Indiana Jones? Or if they do, they can wait till those games are much. I mean, Stalker 2, probably 6 months after it comes out on PlayStation, is going to be pretty cheap, right? I mean, Indiana Jones probably going to be able to get that half off 6 months afterwards. So you're not paying $70. You're talking about day one. But whenever I talk to Xbox guys or I talk to PC guys, they go, I'll wait, which is fine. They're right. I'll wait for a sale, or I'll wait for it to come to PC. Well, PlayStation fans that have Xbox games going to their console, they can wait. I mean, it's the same logic. I mean, it's not fair to say you can say it in one, but you can't say it for the other, right? So the other thing is you went through all of 2022 with no first-party exclusives except for Pentiment at the very last, at the wire in December. And Pentiment isn't exactly, it was great for those that liked it. That's a small audience. So you went 2022 paying $240, or back then it was probably about $180. And you didn't get any big third-party bangers. And it's not just for Ricardo, it's anybody that's listening. So you've gone a few years without major Microsoft Xbox AAA bangers, and you've been paying that $180, now $240. And now all of a sudden, years later, we get to a point where there's 3 games that, yes, have decent hype to them. And you're like, well, there you go. That explains my $240 right there. What about the other $180 you spent the last 3 years? And the $240 you spent thus far going from September this year into next. So it's not as cut and dry as these 3 games are $70. There you go. That explains it. You're going to want those games too. It don't really work that way, Ricardo.
I was gonna say as well, Mooch. I was gonna add as well, Mooch. Here's the thing: like, if you are frugal, and especially with single player games, if you don't mind waiting, it's actually much cheaper than that, because you can not only buy on a sale, but you can beat a game and then resell a physical copy of a game.
Yes.
And sometimes it costs. Sometimes you profit. Sometimes you can actually make a profit. So with the Game Pass money saving thing, it is really the convenience factor. If you really do care about saving money that much, there are other means to save even more money. Especially if you're patient.
Right.
So like, it's not just a case of wait and get it on sale. You can wait, get it on sale, and potentially not spend any money at all, because once you be in the game, you just sell it on again. So if money saving is the most important thing, there are other avenues too.
Right.
Well, if
I
money
think
saving,
a lot of people should.
Go ahead, Slomo.
Singer, real quick. I think a lot of people should kind of do what. I don't understand why there are people who kind of treat Game Pass differently than they would say treat like Ubisoft Plus or EA Play Pro. I know a lot of people and myself that like where. Yeah, if a game comes out and you're interested in it, and you don't really care to own it, but you want to play it, you just sub for a month. You beat the game, and then you unsub.
That's right.
And if the service doesn't provide a consistent number of games that keep you engaged, where you're going to continue to sub like you would like your Netflix or Hulu or Prime Video or whatever, then you just unsub. Like that's how you should just handle it. And that forces them to be able to actually deliver games on a consistent clip, because I think that's been their biggest issue. If you look at like the average Metacritic scores, which of course we say Metacritic doesn't determine that the game is really quality, but then people want to use it for list wars or whatever, right?
Right.
But anyway, like their average Metacritic score has risen since they started acquiring studios. They do have quality studios,
absolutely.
But it's just that they don't have any games that are like pure game changers, where someone can acknowledge a game is good that Xbox first party studio made, but then it's not like a game that everyone has to have. It's not a Cyberpunk. It's not a God of War. It's not Elden Ring. Like it's not a generational kind of game. And I think that's what they kind of need to kind of reverse the rut that they're in. But when it comes down to it, when you have a good year of consistent games come out, and then you follow that up with a year where you only drop one first party game, that's not consistent enough. And especially if you want people to stay engaged in the service,
right?
Like it's like, imagine if Netflix provided nothing. Hey, look, we got Stranger Things final season coming next year, but this year we got literally nothing. Like no one would stay subscribed if that was the case. And so I think they need to be more consistent. That might mean they might need to start replacing some people in leadership that aren't like kind of putting the boot on the neck of developers that continue to keep missing milestones. Because the problem here is ever since you acquired ABK, you have delivered on some games, but not enough. But you are increasing your price for the subscription.
Yep.
So people were waiting for these games. They've been waiting for Fable. They've been waiting for all the other games to come through.
Avowed. I mean, waiting for Avowed for a while.
And they subscribe to the service at a particular price, but then you're raising the price before you even deliver the game.
Well,
and it's just like
Slow-mo.
that's not going to work for people.
Remember that's what Phil said. Phil said if we can't get more people to our platform, then we have to charge the people that are at our platform more money, and that's what they're doing. He said it.
Yeah,
he said it.
If you're on the platform, you're just like, well, thanks, because you're just like,
you know what?
I guess
that's why their favorite game announcement is actually this game called Roadmap. That's actually their favorite game announcement. They love roadmaps.
They love. Oh boy!
I mean,
because roadmaps is what keeps people signed up without actually delivering on the product.
You're not wrong.
It's the hopefulness of it. It's the wishful thinking that you'll get. This lineup. But I was going to say, slow-mo. Yeah, but slow-mo, to your point, the only reason I haven't historically done that is because I've stacked for cheap. So even now I've stacked 3 years at I think it cost me £80 or £90 each per annum, which is, almost the price of one game. So, but I will say once this is over, the stacking cheap is over and I have to pay full whack. I'm going to do what you're saying and just do 1 month at a time, because there's no reason. It's not wise. It's not a sensible, frugal to do anything else, because they're not delivering at the cadence where you need to be subscribed the whole year anyway. Like, what am I going to do? Like, imagine I'd subscribed the whole year and I hadn't paid a stacked fee cheaper. I would have got Hellblade 2 and maybe a couple of third-party titles that I'm not even that interested in. Like, that is not worth £200 odd or whatever it is. So yeah, in future I will be approaching it like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're really conscious about saving money, see on Xbox, like for example, I'll just plug an example, because PC you always save money all over the place, right? You never pay for full price for a game because you don't have to. So let's take, you wanted Call of Duty on your Xbox, right? And you want to save money. Well, I just went on CD Keys, shout out to them. Black Ops 6 Vault Edition for Xbox. So this is the big deluxe one. Should be £100.
That's right.
£65.
Yeah.
Less than the price of the base game. You get the code delivered to you, type it in on your Xbox, redeem it, job done. You just saved yourself a boatload of cash. The regular version of Black Ops 6 is only $40.
Wait, you said Xbox, Singer. Did you mean on PC?
No,
CD
Xbox
keys?
on Xbox.
No, Xbox. Yeah,
Xbox.
An Xbox key, because CD keys does Xbox games, PlayStation games, PC games,
and it's play anywhere, so you could buy it on Xbox and then still have that license on your account in the Xbox PC app.
Exactly,
but
and
that's right. Yes,
another thing as well. Like in the UK, pretty much every year for FIFA or Call of Duty, one of the supermarkets does like a really cheap price because it's like a loss leader. It's like come in to buy Call of Duty, but we hope you will buy groceries, right? And other goods. They do it with FIFA as well. So usually, like my cousins and stuff, they'll end up getting it for like £37-40, like even though it's a 70 quid game. So there's always deals. You can always get it cheaper than, especially in the UK.
Like, it's the PC exclusive EA Play Pro and the Ubisoft where you get their games day one. It's like, why would you pay 70 for Assassin's Creed Shadows when you could pay the 59.9, play the game, beat it, and then off you go? Because you know there's going to be another one. Like for me personally, Dragon Age, it's like you pay the 15.99, you play Dragon Age when it releases, and if you want to own it, you just wait a year for one of the Steam summer sales and you pick it up for like 70% off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you get it for cheap anyway. So you use the assets instead. If you really want Call of Duty, and like, well, the Game Pass is like Stalker 2. It's all these games are super cheap. Like if you really wanted Stalker 2, for example, on CD keys, right? Let's say I wanted Stalker 2, right? Guess how much I'd pay? 25 instead of 50.
Yeah. By the way, to any
that's a Steam key, right? Singer? That's Steam.
By the way,
yeah.
To my point, by the way, as I was just saying that, I just checked on Hot UK deals. Any UK people listening, check that site out. It's amazing for deals. Right now, the grocery store is selling Black Ops 6 on both platforms for £40. So
the grocery store.
Yeah,
what do you mean the grocery?
It's like a supermarket.
Oh wow! I didn't know they sell games over there like that.
You sell games
they sell games
in the frozen food
you can
aisle?
get Black Ops 6 and a fruit salad.
Yeah, I was
exactly.
I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys. I just picked up Black Ops 6 at a DiGiorno. Yeah, I think that's a good deal. It's a good deal. No, go ahead, please.
So you get like 50% off. So it's like. You like Stalker 2 is like you're like, well, I could play it in Game Pass for it costs 50, but I could also buy it off here for 25, redeem the key on my Xbox, and off I go. And so you just saved yourself some money.
Let me ask that Singer. Let me ask you a question. I've used CD keys for Steam, for PC. I've had no issues. Can anybody testify that it works great also with Xbox games? Have anyone had any issues?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
I've used it for Game Pass as well.
Great. Yeah. It works great for Nintendo games. It works great for PlayStation games. Yeah, because when you look at PlayStation games, you're like, what? So you want to pick up Spider-Man Remastered? You're like, okay, cool. Well, just pay the 20 and off you go. There we go, job done. So, like, they service all the console bases. So it's a resource you may as well utilize because if you're a console player anyway, you're never coming to PC, so you may as well take advantage of having like 40% off.
Death Singer, how much is Black Ops 6, the regular edition or the Vault edition? Both, if you can look them both up, if you don't mind, live on the show on CD keys for PlayStation.
The regular edition is 42.
No, on PlayStation though.
Oh, PlayStation Call of Duty? Let me have a look.
Well, I'm really interested in this because, see, myself, I have Game Pass still, so I'll play it on Xbox with my friends that have Xbox. And then I bought Black Ops 6. It was the same thing I did last year. I bought it on PlayStation because I have a group of people I play with on PlayStation. And they just, honestly, we can all do Discord. I know the whole nine, and that's easy to do. But honestly, I really don't mind. I like having it. I love the trophies. I like picking that up. And I actually do prefer using the dual, not the DualSense, but the DualSense Edge. That's been a controller to go to for me. I do like it a little bit more than my V2. I like the Xbox V2 as well. I'm not going to bash it at all. It's a great controller. But I do like the Edge a little bit better.
Oh, wait. So you're telling me that CD Keys is selling the game code on PlayStation? Because PlayStation, they eliminated that whole retail like you can't buy a digital version.
I didn't know you
The
could
thing
do
is,
that.
for PlayStation,
I've
it
never
doesn't.
bought a
I just look-
PlayStation game. Yeah, I've never bought a PlayStation
The
game.
thing
on
is,
CD.
I'm looking right now. I don't see any PlayStation. I just see
no,
Xbox
it's
and
only
PC,
Xbox and
and
PC.
That's what I thought.
and the majority of they have limited keys, so like a lot of them are sold out right now. Like the only one, there's like six,
But
The
five
Vault
or six
Edition's
that are
in. The
available.
Vault Edition's in.
There is still a way though for you can still get discounts on PlayStation as well. It's a bit of a workaround. So via CD Keys, Aniba, or Shop2, if you buy top-up vouchers, they sell them roughly 10 to 20% off. So you buy the top-up voucher and then you buy the game on the digital store from PlayStation, but it still works out to like 20% off.
Yeah. The thing is that I've noticed that they don't with Call of Duty. They generally don't have it in like as I saw for Black Ops 6. I mean, they have other games for PlayStation, so you can still get PlayStation games through there, but it must be a problem with them getting the keys for PlayStation or something.
Isn't there another
PlayStation? They shut that.
I don't think PlayStation agreed to it. Yeah.
Because otherwise you could get a really good deal. If you play on Xbox or PC, you could get a really, really good deal. But,
Anybody want to play an old Xbox singer, man? Come on, man.
Don't get chased.
That's why it's cheaper. That's why it's cheaper.
Oh, yeah, don't clip me. Don't clip me. Don't clip me. My bad, Mooch. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Buy it from Asda, guys.
Oh, it's too late?
That's way too late. It's always too late. That's just the way it is. So anybody else on anything with Call of Duty or effects of Call of Duty? I think it's going to be interesting. I'm very interested to see how things go. Of course, the next couple of weeks are going to be outstanding media, a lot of news, like, oh my God, I can't believe it. This is what Game Pass is always meant for. And then I wonder if we'll ever find out how Game Pass is doing when we get to March or April. We probably won't hear much. Like I said,
did you see the news when it came to their marketing? They saying that Activision claims that they have spent like as large as like a blockbuster movie.
Yes.
As far as the marketing.
Yeah, advertising.
You know what I mean? Because typically with the marketing, PlayStation covered that. And with the marketing was kind of weird with this game because we didn't really see as much gameplay. Because typically after the multiplayer reveal, you see the live action trailer, then you see like other, trailers like, the gameplay or the story beats and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of I don't know the dude's name, but he's like a Russian guy.
Yeah.
They're making little memes.
The Replacer.
I seen him on ESPN.
The Replacer.
I seen him on Shannon Sharp show.
Yeah, he did Barstool. He did ESPN. He did every major outlet. It was The Replacer.
He was on KSI and Sidemen as well on their YouTube channel.
Yeah. But that was the marketing that's what I saw mostly.
Me too.
I saw it on my LG TV. Like it came up on the banner. I saw it on YouTube. I saw it on a billboard in town. So they are doing.
There's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, it was in. I think it was Times Square. They had a billboard too on Times Square.
Yep. No, a lot of money went into it. So you're saying that all was something that I don't know if it was full PlayStation, but PlayStation covered a lot of that. Jay, you're saying in the past, part of the marketing deal.
Yeah, PlayStation covered a lot because every game normally with Call of Duty, you'll see that PlayStation at the end. You know what I mean? You didn't really see nothing with any of the video. Even when it was like they're promoting Call of Duty, but they're not promoting like a platform. They're just like, hey, Call of Duty. Black Ops 6.
It's everywhere.
They only promote the platform or Game Pass for Call of Duty on like Xbox, like Twitter account, Xbox YouTube channel.
Yep.
That's when you'll see like an Xbox logo or day one on Game Pass, that kind of voice.
Right.
But then on the Activision actual Call of Duty stuff, they don't mention Game Pass whatsoever. And I don't know if that's a restriction of like, because this year, technically, Sony still had marketing, and it's kind of like a weird gray area or something. So it's like, I don't know if that is a extension of that still not being expired, or if it's regulators saying they can't do it. But I will hope that's the case, that their marketing isn't just that like stupid to not actually say, you want something to grow and you fought hard to put this in there, but then you're not going to market it.
Right.
If that's your own negligence, then, those people should be replaced. But I just assume that if there's something else going on there behind the scenes that kind of prevents them from doing that.
There's definitely something that's preventing them, because that Xbox would be the first one to want to tout that out. And I don't blame them, but you spend that kind of money, I would definitely want to. It must be something in writing with the courts, or what they had with the FTC, or with something with CMA. Who knows where or what court mandated what, but there has to be something. Or maybe it's actually a strategy. Let's be honest. Shout out. I got this is right from, and I was going to bring it up because it actually has to do with not a subject that I even gave the panel tonight. But if I can just look up, there was a pure Xbox rumor, and this thing kind of caught fire today. Xbox's PS5 ports have slowed down, in quotes, following Indiana Jones announcement. And then you have a situation here where Satya Nadella, this is today, says we are bringing great games to more people on more devices. With our acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, which closed October 23, we've added hundreds of millions of players to our ecosystem. We now have 20 franchises that have generated over $1 billion in lifetime revenue, from Candy Crush, Diablo, Halo, Warcraft, Elder Scrolls, Gears of War. And with Xbox Cloud Gaming, we continue to innovate to offer players more ways to experience the games they love, where, when, and how they want. Finally, we brought 4 of our fan favorite titles to Nintendo Switch and Sony PlayStation for the first time, and this is underlined, as we continue to extend our content to new platforms. So that was kind of wishful thinking, I think, on pure Xbox. There was also a tweet by Terrible Tom. He says someone had tweeted him saying, basically, continue to extend our content to new platforms. Does not sound like they are hitting pause on anything. And Tom Warren says, who said they were pausing Project Latitude? So I guess, the movement to continue to move games over to PlayStation and Nintendo hasn't ended. So to your point, Slow-Mo, is I think maybe it may be strategy, right? So they're going to promote Xbox on the Xbox channel. It makes perfect sense. But when you go to Activision and you want to look up Call of Duty, you're not somebody that pays attention to the console wars or pays attention to anything in the gaming news. Just love your Call of Duty. You just want to know where you can buy it. They don't really care. So they don't care where you buy it. They don't care if you buy it on PlayStation or PC or mobile. They don't care, So it's one of those situations where maybe that's a smart move on Microsoft's part to say, hey, we're not going to just move everybody to one. That's not going to happen if we try that. Let's not offend the customer. Let's let them buy it where they want. You know what I mean? So,
well, I mean, they're going to make that choice regardless. I think there are people, even if you blasted Game Pass everywhere, that people were looked in. As we mentioned earlier in the show, look at the numbers, look at the math, and be like, I mean, I don't really play a lot of the games you got in that service. I'm not really interested in those. I'm just interested in Call of Duty. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm good. So it's just really like putting the option out there isn't going to like hurt anything. It's not like you're not going to offend someone. How dare you?
What do you mean?
Offer this Game Pass to me. It's just like, no, I mean, I'm either going to do it or not do it. I think now, to your point, they may be doing that because it really kind of seems like they don't give a damn about the Xbox console no more. I mean, you got marketing saying, no console, no problem. You got, a lot of moves where they are putting their games everywhere. And then Project Latitude clearly isn't slowing down. Like, the Xbox console is there and they generate a lot of revenue in the gaming segment off of it. But I feel like what they really want is to be everywhere. And they are the one platform that is like, hey, we're in cloud, we're in mobile. We got an Xbox app coming in mobile. We're on PC, we're on everything. They're trying to put themselves everywhere. Hey, we'll go to where you are to deliver our games. But meanwhile, the experience everywhere is mediocre. xCloud is the worst cloud service for gaming. GeForce Now curb stomps it. PC app, worst app on PC. Everyone else stomps it, even Epic Game Store. If the best, most stable experience to play your games is an Xbox console, or on Steam on PC, it's like,
why not promote it more?
Yeah, it's just it doesn't make sense to me, but.
I don't.
A lot of the moves they make don't make sense to me, and they change up their philosophy every 2 years. So I'm not surprised.
That's the thing. I think when people say, "Mooch, what is it you really want from Microsoft? What do you want from Xbox?" I just want them to be like fully transparent, right? Just say where you're going to put your games. You know what I mean? Crap. I think that's one of the
lying
things
to the people.
Yeah. Well, that's what. Well, it's not lying. It's just it's kind of just like hiding behind a pane of glass that's frosted. Not to use one of Jez 77 86 jokes, but I mean, crap. What do you think? I mean, is Is that just me wishful thinking? Like, just say you're going to put everything everywhere and let's move on. I think this whole, like, Xbox is the best place to play. One day tweet, and then the very next day it's like, hey, we hope all of our PlayStation, Nintendo, and PC gamers enjoy it as well. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know if I can. That's one thing I want is just more transparency on that.
Yeah, I don't know if Crap is still there, but yeah,
I don't know. Crap probably went to go eat dinner.
It makes a lot of sense, Mooch.
Yeah,
I feel like they don't they should have just went in ahead and just said, this is what we're doing going forward. Much like how Nintendo just lets you know up front, you want to play a Nintendo game, you know where to get one. Yeah. You better buy a Nintendo, because if not, if you try to emulate it, we're going to put you under the jail, and we're not putting our games anywhere else. We won't even put our characters in Fortnite, because we know you'll be able to play it on something else. Sony is like, this is what we're doing. We're putting games on PC, but the games will be first on on PlayStation, and if it's live service, it'll be on both at launch. This is what we're doing. How come Xbox couldn't just be like, hey, look, this is pretty much like the Xbox is the timed exclusive console now. You will get the games here first, but then 6 months to a year later, they'll show up on a PlayStation, and if it's capable of running on a Nintendo, it'll be there too. Right. The fact that the moment they put one game on PlayStation, it threw any way that they could pretend like they're not putting all their games on the platform out the window. No one's going to believe you now. Right. Because you said these games were going to stay exclusive, and then you didn't keep them exclusive. And then you went and said, hey, that game, Indiana Jones, that's not one of the games that's going. And then 6 months later or 7 months later, we find out it's one of the games that's going. Knowing how game development is, when you said that, you knew development on PlayStation. So you knew. Yeah. So you just straight lying to people to their face. Why would anyone trust anything you have to say?
They're easing their fandom in, dude. They don't want to hurt them too much, too soon. It's like
you say that, but I think there's some truth to that.
They don't want that reaction and controversy, because even the video you're talking about, right? They only did it because of the backlash. Because every fucking Xbox, they're like, yo, chill, don't worry, it's not too bad. But really, back then, when he made, like you said, and we know now from the LinkedIn snippets from the developers as well, like Sea of Thieves, all of these games have been in development for quite a while, over a year actually, before they released. So again, it will be the same for Indiana Jones. And they're just sort of slowly easing it into the fandom, I guess, so it doesn't cause too much outcry and too much backlash and too many people switching over or whatever.
Indiana Jones want to hurt. They're just offending their people. They're creating more people that's going to end up like Tim Dog, where they're just pissed.
The Indiana Jones one, I can definitely see that, because Xbox, they got a new approach putting the games on the console, but the way how they did it, how they executed it didn't pan out well. You did that on It was a Gamescom. It did that. When they announced it.
Gamescom.
Like I would respect it more or like it more if they were to. All right, Indiana Jones came out December, and then probably like in January or February, hey, it's coming to PlayStation, later on. But no. The game ain't even released it, and they're telling you that it's coming to PlayStation. Yeah. That's a big deal, man. In my personal opinion,
and it's a short delay. What is it, like 3 months or 6 months or something?
They said spring. So that's like till June 2025.
They're basically saying if you're on PlayStation, don't worry about buying an Xbox. We got you. Right. It's just like you might as well just.
The funny thing is, it was their like one last thing as well, which was even funnier, which is that meme, it's coming, like literally, that dude who was like crying in the stream. But like to leave it as your final thing to announce about Indiana Jones, because even watching some of those Xbox streams, they're like, "Ooh, what's this next thing? Are they going to show gameplay? Is it, what's going to be the surprise?" It's like, "Oh, it's coming to PS5." Like what a way to end it. It was just too funny.
No, like the Xbox guys was like, "Yo, Jeff was so happy to announce that."
He was.
When
really
I rewatched
excited.
it, I was like, "Yeah, he was cheesing at me." He was kind of grinning, like, "Yeah, it's coming to PlayStation." I was like, "Oh, damn."
Yo, Jeff,
he made it a one more thing, which is normally a one more thing is like a game reveal, but it was like, no, this is also coming to PlayStation. It was just like such a gut punch to all those
I find it
hardcore
funny.
Xbox fans.
I find it funny. I'm glad Jay brought that up. I haven't said it on the show in a while. I like it because I always said if it's done in a tasteful way, it's fun, right? Everybody is a part of this console war. The executives are in the console war. You've got the media's in the console war because they're back and forth with everybody, you know? And that's fine, by the way. That's not me saying it's bad. I think it's fine. It's absolutely fine. You definitely know that everybody has a preference. Everybody has a preference. I've always said that on the show. It is what it is. And Jeff definitely has a preference. So you're right, Jay. He kind of had that like smirk and he's smiling, almost like he created it.
He had a Grinch smirk on.
It was almost like it was his. It was almost like it was his baby.
He's been keeping receipts of all the Xbox fans come after him, and he's like, "All right, bitches."
He's watching.
But the thing is, I want to just clarify. I'm actually on the side of I'm pro Xbox exclusive. So it's not actually great news to me. I would prefer if
it would be
Xbox
better for us.
maintained.
Agreed. Actually, I agree with you. It should be Xbox
I'm not
exclusive.
pro Xbox exclusive because their best decision ever was putting their games on PC. Because
not for Xbox as business.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny, Singer,
you live in a
because
good life, Singer, you got the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
the thing is, it's good for my pockets, but it's also it's not good for Xbox and Microsoft. But I am the customer. I don't give a shit if they sink or swim, as long as they give me my game.
I hear you, Singer. As far as the consumer and the bottom line out of your wallet, I completely understand. But in the same breath, have you ever said, and maybe you haven't, I'm asking, I'm not telling, I'm asking, have you ever said, well, it's better to have the 3 platforms for competition and this and that, and it's better for us in the end if we have 3 big platforms out there doing it, right? You've had to have said that, or at least you've been on...
I have said that.
And that's the thing. So
for competition.
It literally kills one of the branches by what they did, because what you do, it's clear as day. We said this back in 2017. It slowly starts to erode the need for the console. And you may say, again, I understand a lot of PC guys go, that doesn't matter. But for the people that are going to buy console, you know what they're doing now? They're just shifting. Some are shifting to PC for sure, but some are shifting now to PlayStation.
Well, the thing is, you're losing competition, but
which sucks.
Everyone's going in a which way, because eventually, like, Nintendo went their own way, and it's mega successful. So if you can't, like, just straight up win 1v1, you may as well go your own way and do your own thing, whatever makes you successful.
Yeah.
Because it's like Nintendo was making home consoles, and then the Wii U happened, and everyone's like, oh, Nintendo's out of the fight, and then the Switch comes out and completely destroys everything.
Nah, I think that you're being disingenuous on that, because, Nintendo switched up their strategy to compete, but they're still competing. Microsoft is just changing their whole they're changing their strategy on just competition in general.
The only thing they're really competing in is like console sales. Like
at the end of the day, Nintendo still wants the consumer to come over to their platform and buy games on their platform or whatever.
Well, so
they incentivize heavily on selling you on the console so they can get you there. That's the difference.
But they're incentivizing you through their first party, because they don't get a lot of the big third party that Xbox and PlayStation get, because the games can't run on their Switch. So they have to rely on their first party to go consistency and quality in order to get where they are. And that's why they're as successful as they are, because their first party is the best first party out of all the consoles, arguably. But you look at sales, meta, like Nintendo first party usually go top notch. So
therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem, Singer, because the thing is, Xbox is also equally reliant on that 30% cut that their ecosystem brings. And I think they thought by doing ubiquitous PC releases and Game Pass, that would essentially cover the difference. And even if they're not competing with PlayStation, they'll get this whole other bunch of revenue. And you could tell from their, what their predictions were and forecast. They forecasted 44 million subs by 2023. They were at 25. And they missed 3 years in a row. We've spoken about this before, but the point is, like, they just completely I guess, misunderstood the market, or their projections were way off. And I feel like they've kind of had this multiple times over the generations where they're too reactive and they chase things that are not necessarily what the consumers want. They had it with at the tail end of the 360 gen when they kind of pivoted to Kinect, with the Xbox One in the beginning of the generation when they had all the DRM, Kinect focus, and they even sort of compromised their hardware and the pricing to include the Kinect as the pack-in. And then again, this generation with sort of the split SKU, Game Pass and PC ubiquity, and all that has ended up happening, which a lot of people foresaw, and even PlayStation said, was they've eroded their own console install. Yeah. And it's rapidly shrinking and continually rapidly shrinking, like devastating declines.
And also,
they know Singer, that's why they put all their games.
What's the percentage that they make now, Singer, too? You made really good points with saying that CD keys, you can buy Xbox games. You would normally want them to buy that all into your ecosystem. I mean, CD keys, does Xbox get the same? And I'm asking, I don't know. Does CD keys give Xbox the same cut as if you were to buy it on the Xbox Game Store?
I mean, they buy the games. They buy the games off the company.
They buy the games from Microsoft, right? So they're getting. So Microsoft's getting their. Yes. They're getting their cut, right?
They must get a diminished cut, though.
They have to have a diminished cut because
they do get a diminished cut, but then you think about what they're selling, like it must work business-wise from what they're doing because they've been doing it for so long. So I don't know what the behind the scenes
easy with that, Singer. And the only reason I say that is we've had a number of people over the past years on the show, some people even in the media, that have said, well, don't forget Microsoft can afford that lost leader. Well, they can afford that, right? Sony, Nintendo can't afford that, but you say they've been doing it for a while, so they can. I mean, Game Pass hasn't, I don't know if that's made them, I know they said that it's made them profit. That's fine. We'll take their word for it. Absolutely. I'm just saying to you, like, they can afford loss. It's $1 billion to do these third-party deals. That article came out a few months ago. That's a lot of money out of pocket, and you're not seeing a true significant bump in subscription. You keep seeing Netflix every year, right? Remember, ages ago, they reached 200 million subscribers. Then they went to 220. Now they're somewhere around 240, 260, or 280. They're continuously going up, and they've cut costs. Netflix has stopped making those original movies with the big celebrity names. They stopped all that. Now they have a lot of no-name people making movies and people going, wow, that's a great movie. Did you watch that? So everyone's watching these movies with a lot of people that don't require a $20 million price tag on their head. So they've cut their costs and they've gotten more subscribers. Netflix is doing that correctly. Xbox, it costs a bloody fortune. It's $1 billion to have the third-party deals, and God knows the amount of money that is hemorrhaging through places like 343, right? That literally just have money going right out the window, and then they don't really see those returns. There's not people buying skins. There's not people buying packs. There's barely a lot of people playing Halo right now, and that's one of those things that they thought was going to be just making money.
But that's the thing about what I was arguing is outside of Game Pass. Now, going into Game Pass, yes, they completely missed the mark because it's like you're not really going to get PC players, like the PC market, subscribing to a subscription service because they generally don't do that. It's like you want to sell your games on Steam because that's where the majority is going to play and buy it. Now, some people are stupid and go Epic Game Store exclusive, which is a dumb idea. But hey, the majority of the market is
Epic for the win. Let's go.
I mean, to be fair, it's just Square Enix that does the stupid deal, and I don't know why, because it's a stupid idea. But anyway,
why is it stupid? It's free, right?
No, because Epic Games Store they only sell games, some Square Enix games on there, like the Kingdom Hearts games were only available through the Epic Games Store. They weren't on Steam for a very, very long time.
But why does it have to be on Steam? Why as a PC gamer that loves an open platform, you're so, caught up on a game needs to be launching on Steam where you just have access to whatever, all these stores.
The thing is, most games are like that. Exclusivity isn't a thing like that on PC. So you're bringing a console, this is exclusive to one storefront, to a platform that is open, right? So you're bringing, I want this exclusive to my storefront. Well, the PC platform has always been an open platform. So now you're bringing something that is alien to the space into it. Of course, it wouldn't go down well, right? If you sold it on Epic and you sold it on Steam, that is living up to the open platform. but Epic are locking it, trying to get people to go to the Epic launcher to rival the Steam launcher, but Steam is the most popular place. So that's why Steam it never made sense.
I get what you're saying, but like Steam has the rapport for years that, you know, they have a good reputation with gamers as far as, you know, feature sets and policies and whatnot. Epic, they're doing a console approach where they want to attract people to their store, so they have these time exclusive or these exclusives on their storefront to get people in so they can buy stuff on their stuff or earn. I think they added achievements and all that stuff now, because even to this day, Epic's still giving out free games. You know what I mean? Where I would claim them, but you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're still giving out free games, but it was just kind of a weird thing where Epic went on that, and it doesn't really vibe. But it's like most people don't really do the subscriptions anyway. I do it because it's cost effective, right? EA Play Pro is not available on console, so you can't take that approach. But given I have access to it, like if I want to play Dragon Age, for example, I can pay the $15 for the month, play the game, beat the game, unsubscribe, and off I go about my day, right? So there's a lot of openness, like you can play it anywhere. But obviously, you know, it swings and roundabouts, but Game Pass completely missed on PC, and that's because if they were to get rid or redo the Windows Store, people would actually gravitate to that storefront if it was actually good. The fundamental problem is the Windows Store is dog shit. And so people are like, well, I could play the game on the storefront, but it's dog shit, so I'll just get the game on Steam. There we go, you just lost that person who probably would have gone on there and gone, oh yeah, Game Pass is a good deal. I could play the game on Game Pass. Oh wait, the store's dog shit. Never mind. So I mean,
so you want Game Pass on Steam? What's going on? What happened?
Game Pass on Steam wouldn't happen because the third party games are on there. So that wouldn't happen because Steam sells all the games, all the third party games anyway. But what I want is them to make convert the Windows Store Game Pass into the Blizzard launcher, the Activision Blizzard launcher.
Oh, like what Slow-Mo said. Slow-Mo said earlier.
Yeah, or fix your store. Because the reason why a lot of people won't go near Game Pass is because it is linked to that shitty ass store. So they still have the store problem. Now they said they were going to try and fix it. Here we are years later.
They said that was a long time ago when they said that.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah. And it still ain't fixed, and I don't understand why. So they're making stupid decisions, and if they actually, you know, made a good decision, they might actually see success on PC. But
I think the thing is though, with the whole PC thing, like, it's undeniable that certain games do incredibly well on the PC platform, right? Certain games, they sell better on PC than they do on console. But we're starting to see more and more that there's these kind of genre divides between what does well somewhere and what does well on another platform, right? Because you would think, like, Xbox started doing day-date releases on PC from 2017, I believe, or was it 2016? It might have been 2016.
2016.
Yeah, 2016. So here's the funny thing, right? Like, if you look at the Sakana data, so Matt Piscatella, he actually put up all of the NPD year-to-date sales charts going back like 15 years, right? Do you know that since 2016, only one, and I repeat, only one Xbox exclusive has charted in the year-to-date, that's the annual sales Sakana list, and that game is Starfield. So adding ubiquitous releases to PC, and keep in mind, Steam has an install of what, like 137 million or something, right? More than most of these consoles do. Despite that, Gears 5, Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, like all these like sort of actually quite big games, and none of them charted in the year-to-date list. And conversely, in that same time frame, I believe it's 16 exclusives have charted for PlayStation in the same time, and 29 for Switch, dude.
Yeah, what's your rebuttal, Singer?
No, the thing is, you can't do that because MPD doesn't track Steam, right? So
no, it does. It does. So the data that the data that I'm referring to, it was all updated to include Steam. And he said Steam was included from, I believe it was 2014. So I'm saying 2016 on.
Okay. Yo, y'all witnessing European and European crime. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
It's not, because the thing is, the games aren't as popular. As I said, yes, I agree with you. The games aren't as popular, but you have to think what's available on Steam. Plus, these new games come, but if the games aren't good, people aren't going to buy them. See, people actually speak with their reviews on Steam.
Don't you think Forza Horizon 5 is good? I think Forza Horizon 5 is
a good game, but then
it's better than good.
Then again,
it's one of the best arcade races ever made.
But here's the thing: it's like
whoa, slow it down, Nib. But go ahead.
No, it is one of the best arcade races ever made. But it's like you look at Forza Horizon and its performance, and it's like, okay, yeah, it came to PC, and it did its thing day one, but then everyone fell off because there's games releasing all the time, right? So it's of course Xbox. They miss out on a lot of these games that skip Xbox, right? Guess where these games don't skip Xbox? They land on Steam. So people are playing Black Myth Wukong. PlayStation gamers are playing Black Myth Wukong. Guess who isn't playing Black Myth Wukong?
Yeah, I gave it a 9.5. I absolutely love that game. I think
that's a piece of game. Love it.
Yeah.
Because Steam has different priorities, and it also has exclusives on there that do a lot of work. Like CS:GO always does a lot of work, right? And you have, but the thing is,
I get. I mean, look, if you don't mind me saying, if it sounds like, look, I understand all different consumers and different, types of genre that appeal to them, but genuinely, honestly, what I think it is that PC-centric gamers just aren't as interested in those types of games as the console side is. And we see that, we've actually seen that even recently with certain games that have really, really low PC splits on GSD and Sakana. Like some of them have like 7%, 11%, big games that are just not doing very well on PC. Whereas you have other games like Diablo and Baldur's Gate, obviously. Black Myth Wukong was a bit different because of the China thing, but I'm talking more sort of.
No, because that's still,
of course.
China is a majority PC.
No, I understand. So but usually the Chinese, I understand that, but what I mean is Chinese consumers aren't buying other games in the same volume. So it's very specific to Black Myth Wukong. But if we look at those other games, so Diablo, I think it's like 80-something% was like on PC. But actually, the kind of games that Sony and the kind of games that Microsoft and the kind of games that EA and the kind of games that Ubisoft make, those games don't actually have tremendous splits on PC. In fact, they have fairly low splits. And it obviously different publishers have different splits. I think Capcom has pretty good splits on PC. Like, for example, Monster Hunter does well on PC. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is it doesn't mean that just because you put your games on day on PC that you're actually going to see that massive influx of sales, as Xbox has proven to us, as other publishers have proven to us. Even with Silent Hill 2, it's day on PC, but I believe like 21% or 22% the sales across 50 EMA territories were on PC. And guess what? In Europe, PC users are much more dominant than in the United States. So again, we're seeing that.
But the thing is, it's because the PC is so fragmented and open and all over the world. It's like they were just
frag what? It's frag what? Singer? Frag what?
It's fragmented.
Oh, okay.
It's fragmented. Like the global PC audience is super fragmented.
You know what's not fragmented, Singer? You got 2 weeks, brother, to upgrade that goddamn GPU, because when that PS5 Pro come out, listen, I'm tagging you personally. I'm tagging you. I'm DMing you.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see how well the actual performance comes out. I can't wait to see what Digital Foundry has to say. But it's like, but also you think of to Nib's point, it's like the most successful games like Black Myth Wukong did really well. Cyberpunk, Elden Ring did really, really well. Expected. Hogwarts Legacy, Baldur's Gate 3. Like, you can generally see what do all these games mostly have in common? They're RPGs, right?
Yeah.
Think about what I just said. Well, think about what I just said to you. Like, RPGs are a big seller.
Yeah.
Third-person action adventure games and stuff like that aren't as big, but that's because there's so many different exclusive games that haven't really come over, and the PC user base is older, so it's
this segues to another point actually, which was really fascinating to me. Is so I know Steam is the big boy in the PC sphere, right?
Yep.
But I'll ask you, like, do you know how much revenue they made in fiscal year 2023? I'm asking you.
I have no idea. I don't look at. I didn't.
So they
you look at everything else with them financials, huh?
So Steam made 8.5 billion, right? PlayStation made 29 billion. So even like the biggest PC platform that has 70% of all of the distribution of PC digital games is making 1/3 of what PlayStation is revenue wise. So I was thinking, how is that humanly possible when we have such massive selling games on the PC side? But it's because of these multi-platform live service games. So if you look at the Epic case and you look at Fortnite, when they broke down the actual revenue split between the platforms, it was overwhelmingly on PlayStation and Xbox. And the PC split, I think they had to combine PC with with Android. It was like 7% or something, or 9%. And it made me realize, even though that the PC platform does have a massive volume of gamers and install, a lot of those gamers aren't spending the big bucks that the console stuff users are, except in other territories like in China and Asia and stuff like that, on these other types of games, RTS and stuff like that. So these publishers are making the lion's share of their money on consoles, which is why something like PlayStation can have 3 times the revenue of Steam, even though Steam's actual MAU or install base is actually higher.
Here's the thing as well. It's like you also have to factor in Steam isn't just the only place, because, like, for example, if I was to take a game like League of Legends, right, it has more monthly active users than Steam.
Are you breaking up?
You're breaking up.
It clocked in 145 million. Am I good now? Hello?
Yeah.
You're all right. Good.
Okay, yeah. So 145 million.
And say you were speaking that malarkey.
No, 145 million monthly active users.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's like PlayStation. PlayStation is one concise unit. Everything is there through the PlayStation storefront. PC, there's multiple. Like, if you want to argue how many people, like, League of Legends has more monthly active users than Steam. That's
I agree.
Factual.
Right.
And
that is
Riot Games made 2 billion in revenue, right?
2 billion.
So add Riot Games to Steam. Add Epic.
So that's why I agree. That's why Dessinger, that's why I used my words very specifically. I said 70% of distribution of all new digital game sales, right? So what you're referring to now is subscription of existing titles, right? Existing IP, which doesn't fall under the Steam banner or I forgot what it's called in China. There's like a really famous, another PC distribution game selling.
It's like Wii something.
Yeah, Wii or something. Weibo, yeah. Obviously, they still don't have that much, because Steam still constitutes for 70% of the global share. But that's what I was specifically referring to, the new games. But because what you're describing now with like League of Legends and stuff, that would also Fortnite's MTX and Warzone's MTX, they wouldn't fall under new game sales either on the PlayStation side. They'd be part of the revenue stream, but not part of the new game sales. So again, it's like kind of equivalent. So just as people are paying for money on on their monthly subscriptions.
Nib, you said this is a good segue, and it really kind of is. One of the topics I have is Spider-Man 2 coming to PC, and this is why they do this staggered release. Is the numbers we're seeing here? PlayStation wants to squeeze every penny they could possibly get out of people that are going to buy it on console. And once that's done, and I know a lot of people go, how come there's a variation in months? Sometimes it's 15 months, sometimes it's 18 months, sometimes it's 24 months. That's true. But when I was doing a little bit of reading, because I know Death Singer probably knows this as well, it also depends on the game. So people were saying, why is it that Horizon Forbidden, or whatever it was, Horizon took almost 2 years, and this is going to be 15 months? Well, we heard from Insomniac, and guys, tell me if I'm wrong. Jay Barry, I know you're your ear to the ground more on this than me. But I think that they're not doing any DLC on Spider-Man 2. when they had Horizon Forbidden West, they had what was it there, Burning Shores. So they were doing that for the PS5. So they didn't, they were continuing progress to keep people to move forward towards the console. Here they're done making DLC, so why not actually bring it over to the PC and make more money? Also,
their business approach changed. Herman Hulse, he came out, I think it was earlier this year, and he stated that, when it comes to their big blockbuster games, it will go onto PC platforms like a year later or more.
He said minimum a year.
Yeah, minimum a year. So at the end of the day, now we're seeing that taking effect with a lot of the stuff. That's why it might be different before, because they didn't really have like a minimum time period. But now they stated in full transparency, these games, these big blockbuster games, will be on PC a year later, minimum. You know what I mean? And then when it came to the live service games, they will be on there day and date. So now we have a timeline, so that's why you're seeing it much faster, because they gave you a minimum period of when it's coming. So
yeah, and so I mean that's one of the things there. I mean, Deathsinger, what was your ticket? I know you were very excited. You must have had the tweet saved, and then you just went to drafts and hit send. But you were like, oh, look at that, less than a year, and I was like, no, it's not. It's coming out in January.
Well, it's technically less than, the announcement is less than a year. The actual time of the game isn't, but the announcement is less than a year. So technically,
he's counting the announcements. Pretty soon, he's going to count like what do you call it? Their what do they call project art, or something like that. Concept art.
Either way, it's a good thing, because PlayStation needs to recoup more cash, and it'll do what it does on PC, and I'll just cash to them.
I think on PC, the numbers they're making on PC, though, Singer, they're not substantial compared to what they're making on the console. With digital,
of course they're not. But
digital game sales, no way.
Money.
Yeah, it's extra money.
Absolutely. That you're bringing in.
Absolutely.
Bear in mind, the game's probably run its course on consoles.
Exactly.
So you're like, well, okay, we can see the drop off.
I'm trying to be consistent with this, because this is one of the things I said when we were talking about Xbox games. I said this right away. I said when they were like, we're going to put it on Game Pass day and date. I said stagger. I was even being fair. I said stagger at 6 months. I didn't even say a year. I said 6 months, because the hardcore gamer, everyone that we talk to, everyone that we hang out with in the community, everyone's like, oh my God, I can't. Like, we even said it. Singer, you were so excited for Black Ops that you moved yourself to New Zealand. I mean, that's my point being, and of course, I'm joking here. You did that just on a Switch on your PC. But my point being is that everybody in the hardcore community wants to play the game now. Nobody wants to wait 6 months. Nobody wants to wait 12 months. Nobody wants to wait 15 months. And certainly not many people want to wait the 24. Now, I know a lot of PC guys goes, I don't mind waiting. That's fine. That's fine. But a lot of the hardcore people that like you see day in, day out in the community that talk to us, go into all the chats, go to the different shows, participate. Most of them like to play the game within the first 6 months, maybe even first 3 months of launch. So I thought for Xbox, it would have been a great idea. Now, this is Monday Morning Quarterback, but I said it when they first did it too. I said, why not give the Xbox a reason to exist? Why not put the games on Xbox and then put them on Game Pass 6 months later, or 12 months later? And when you look at what PS Plus does with their service, their service is an extra. It's an add-on. It's extra money for them to do the games the way that they're doing the games. They put what do you call it? The Last of Us Part 1, right? They put that on PS Plus, and it's like that's fine, but like the game has run its course. Like through and through for the jokes that are out there. The remaster, the remake, the remaster's remake, right? It's run its course. So they put it on there and it's just added revenue for them. Same thing with PC. Put the game on PC, make some more money. But once you decide to go day and date on PC and Game Pass or your service, people don't buy the games if it's in the service, and then they wait for the games. People are saying that with third party with Xbox. They're like, I'll just wait till it comes to Game Pass. And I'm like, but did you get any word that third party game's coming to Game Pass? No, I'll just wait and see. You just said you wanted to play it. Yeah, I'll wait.
But I think Xbox put all of his...
It's a lot of waiting.
The thing is Xbox probably saw, there's X amount of PC players, we can get a chunk of this market, but they didn't factor in, like, they put all their eggs in the Game Pass basket, right? And clearly, all the eggs in the basket isn't turning out what they wanted, right? So they have to pivot and then pivot and pivot. Because they thought, we got something here. But then they realized it's like, oh yeah, the PC actual market doesn't really care that much because so many games release on PC a day, like and there's like a lot of hits. Like, who would have thought Lethal Company would do what they did, but it did what it did, right? So you have all these. Valheim is another smash hit game. So all these games, just random games, appear and become super successful on PC. And they do it, and it happens all the time. So you release a game, and it's like, oh, it'll get lost into the ether, or people are playing other things. You've got so many choices. So, and everyone has a backlog on Steam. Like, I probably have like 200 games in my backlog that I'll never ever play, but they're there, you know?
Yep.
And so you're like, okay, well, we do all this, but they missed the mark. Like, trying to get into that space, you probably shouldn't have led with Game Pass. You should have just made good games and released them on PC and made people care about the games. Because it's like Sea of Thieves did well, but that's because a streamer saved the day. He was Captain Saberho, and the hoe he saved was Sea of Thieves, right? I can't remember his name. But
I know you'll never agree with this, but like, I think, because I hear a lot of like PC-centric gamers kind of scapegoat Game Pass, but I honestly think PC gaming day is actually also one of the primary reasons that the Xbox console platform has bled so much, because I honestly think a lot of people have transitioned not just to PlayStation but to PC as well. Like, even anecdotally, we see it.
Absolutely.
Even in the splits. The shift in splits of game sales of Xbox titles are shifting more and more to PC, like sometimes dramatically. So I honestly think that day date thing has just, people are just thinking, well, you know, if I can get all my Xbox games and services on the PC and cheaper, like, we're actually like second class citizens on Xbox. Some games don't even come to Xbox, they go to Game Pass PC and not to the Xbox. Then what we're doing, like, we could just have better performing versions of them on PC.
That's
right. You see, but that's the position they put themselves in.
Yeah.
And
so
here's the trouble with that. So when you go over to PC, as so many of our like mutuals have on Twitter, nearly all of them actually, or nearly all the Xbox gamers I know, I'm talking like 30, 40 of them, have moved over to PC now.
Yeah.
And it's like, now they're losing, even if we just take a tiny snapshot of the people we know who are hardcore enthusiast gamers, right? Hardcore enthusiast gamers that would buy 20, 30 games a year. Well, all of them have moved over to PC. Well, you're no longer getting that 30% cut on all those games that they would have bought. Now Steam is getting the cut.
But that's the thing. It's like they made that an option. They themselves made that an option, and people are now embracing that option because people realize JRPGs that generally skip Xbox, like you see them on the PlayStation show. I see a JRPG ever since going from Xbox PC. I'm like, I ain't missing out on all these games. All these Final Fantasy games. People have been asking, like, the Pixel remasters and all that. It's like, oh yeah, it's not coming to Xbox. This ain't coming to Xbox. This ain't coming to Xbox, but it's coming to Steam and PlayStation. It's like, well, I'm not missing out on anything.
No,
I'm not here begging, please bring it, because it's like, I know for a fact that I'm gonna get this game, and so so you have that, but this is the bed they made. They now got to lay in this bed, and their escape is now putting their games on PlayStation and Nintendo.
You know what it is, though?
It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Go on.
But the thing is, Singer, like, inadvertently, they've actually made it more precarious for PlayStation. Because the thing is, like, even me, and I'm like a console gamer, if PlayStation did day on PC, right, and their ports are getting better and better as well, and then I can get everything from Xbox, everything from PlayStation, and then obviously, like, illegally, you know, there's stuff with Nintendo as well. Like, realistically, then the value proposition for building a high-end PC rig suddenly changed. And even someone like me who loves the convenience factor of console, I'm not on console because of cost. Like, you know, I'll buy a 4090 tomorrow, but the reason is I just like the convenience factor and the ease and the simplicity and everything console. But if you're telling me I can play everything from everywhere on PC better, you know, and it's coming day, I probably would just buy a badass rig, and play everything there. And I think a lot of people would do that. So PlayStation, unfortunately, because that transition from Xbox was already taking place, they do have to be slightly wary, because if they make the value proposition even better on PC, then they may lose. Even if it's a small margin, that small margin, even if 10-20% move over, we're talking about tens of billions in revenue. So they have to be cognizant of that.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, but they're in a good place, right? So PlayStation's in a good place, so they could do what they do.
You said, Singer, I missed what you said.
PlayStation's in a good place.
Okay.
Same as Nintendo. They're both in good places.
Okay.
Hey, Timmy B, make sure you clip that, okay? Well, go ahead.
Yeah, clip that. Clip that. But no. Thing is, Nintendo and PlayStation are in good places. Like, Nintendo's carved out its market and it's doing what it's doing. PlayStation is just doing what it usually does. But Xbox is forced to pivot, and now they've reached this point where we're at with them, which is the games will go everywhere, and they probably will stop making a console, but they'll be fine. But then it brings own issues. But it's like, sure, PlayStation games will come to PC, but once they've done what they've done on console, they'll go to PC. And you probably want to recoup development costs, because the prices of games are going up. Like, the amount it costs to make them.
Yeah.
So
one of the things I just want to bring up is shout out to Elemental PO, because I've known Elemental PO for a very long time, and he's a big Xbox fan. The one thing is this is the stuff I hear from the Xbox camp all the time, but it's not the way it's advertised, and it's not what I actually see. I hear people talk about it, but then they're like, why would I buy it? I'll just play it on Xbox. He says Xbox Game Pass, and I do have other super chats to get to, which I will do in a second, because one of them leads right to another topic. Elemental PO says Xbox Game Pass does entice subscribers with many discounts to own games in the service. Great for cross-buy and play anywhere titles. So I do agree with him in the fact that there are discounts to own games throughout the service. Absolutely. But whenever you even had Crap on the show earlier, Crap had to take off. I was just talking to him in the DMs. Like, the thing about it is that people generally just go, no, we said it earlier with Ubisoft Plus and these other things. People will just play it, rent it, beat it, or not beat it, and then they'll either drop Game Pass and come back to it, or they'll move on to another game in Game Pass. I'm not saying you can never speak in absolutes, Elemental PO. So I'm not saying you're wrong. But yes, they have the incentives there. But when people are paying $20 a month to play a game, and then they're like, 4 months later, it's like, oh, by the way, you can buy this game. Why would you've already beaten it? Like, it's at that point, I mean, is it happening? Are people buying it? Sure. Are they doing it by the millions? I kind of question it. I'm not saying it's not happening.
Oh no, but we know it isn't, because
it doesn't make any sense.
No, 2-3 times in the FTC case, Microsoft admitted that Game Pass cannibalizes game sales.
That's right, they did.
So and before they used to say the opposite. Before, when the Game Pass numbers were low enough, they used to say it would increase sales, because obviously you have more exposure on a game.
Right.
People streaming it and all this, but the problem is once the volume gets to a certain point, then it turns to cannibalization, because then people who would have bought it because they didn't have the service now have the service, so they're just not buying games anymore. And again, Microsoft has admitted this, so we actually know categorically that overall it is cannibalizing game sales, and we can see it in the sales splits from GSD and Sakana anyway. Like, every split we get is showing that the actual split of game sales is diminishing further and further away from the actual console install split.
Yeah. No, and shout out to Babor. I hope you're joking. The great Babor Country, he says, I am leaving PlayStation. Been there since 96. I don't know what he means. Since 96 here. He says, PC 1 year out. He goes, I'm out. Waiting for the 50 series. I'm an adult. I didn't have to play day one. Babor, are you joking? I can't tell if he's joking or not. Babor's a huge PlayStation fan.
He might be being serious.
He might be being serious. I mean, Babor, the thing is you say a year doesn't mean a lot. Have you ever just waited for a year for anything?
No, that year is not a lot, in my opinion.
A year isn't a lot. I mean, to be honest, it's like I waited to try 7 Remake, right? It's like, okay, see, I can sit and wait for this.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
I've got plenty of other games to be playing.
I've let you roll a lot tonight.
None of them is better than Remake, though, Singer. So make sure you finish.
But you clearly didn't like Remake. You haven't picked up and played. You're not even planning to play Rebirth. That's not a game that you had on your radar. There's other games I've talked to you on this show just in the past 7 weeks. You're like, I can't wait. I'm buying that. I'm playing that at midnight. Like you say a year is not a long time, but we've had conversations in the past 2 months where you said, I'm playing this game at midnight. I can't wait.
Well,
the day
he's playing Call of Duty New Zealand time.
You played Call of Duty 24 hours before it was available.
It's games that interest me, like Ghost of Tsushima.
Well, wait a minute. Whoa. Wait. How can we? What? Babor is saying, I don't mind waiting a year for games I like to play. And you said, that's not a long time. That's a real long time, especially if it's a game you want to play. Like, I'm talking about I am only talking about games that you would want to play. I mean, like, if you told me I had to wait a year.
Would you have waited a year to play Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah, would you have waited a year for Baldur's Gate 3?
If that was the case, yes, I would have waited the year, but it isn't the case for that game.
The thing is, this is why I agree with Singer, because, yeah, a year is a long time if you want to play a game that you're interested in. But is it a long time that you want to play a game that you're interested in by buying a whole new platform for? No. The thing is, people's not going to spend that 500, that 700, whatever it is, for a year after when they could stay on their platform that they prefer to play and wait the year out. So yeah, in my opinion, I feel like the year is it might be long. It might be a long time, but as far as investing into another platform, that's a short time for me, in my opinion.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's
what about if you're a PS4 or Xbox One owner who hasn't invested in a platform yet? Because remember, a lot of PlayStation owners are still on PS4, and 30% of PlayStation 5 owners never owned a PS4. So what if you're one of those people who hasn't moved over to the next consoles yet, and you're making that decision? Because that's the problem area for.
So wait, you're coming from the previous generation console?
Yeah. Either you owned or didn't own a PS4 or an Xbox One or whatever, but you're looking to buy into this current generation now, because I think they're the people that PlayStation will be wary of losing to PC, because they're starting from scratch, right? So for them, it's not, they're going to have to spend 500 minimum anyway. So it's a case of, do I spend 500 or 700, 800, 900, 1,000 on a PC, or maybe 1,500, 1,800, or buy a PS5 Pro? Like, they're the ones.
No, I think PlayStation got it mixed up. PlayStation need to worry about the people transitioning to PC from their console. Whether it's PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, because you just got a super chat just now. My man saying that, a year. Hey, I agree. That's nothing to him. He will invest into the PC, and he's seen a lot of people as PC gaming start growing and growing and growing. Yeah, this decision that PlayStation is making is making it easier for a lot of people to transition over to PC rather than staying into their ecosystem. In my personal opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree.
To answer Mooch's thing, as Barry just said, it's like, I'm not going out to pay 500 for a PlayStation to play one or two games. That's not a worthwhile investment to me. I'll wait the year, or however long I have to wait.
Okay, that's fine. But that's Singer. Let me just flip the switch real quick. That's fine. You're saying you won't go spend 500 because you don't want to wait. But Babor is saying, listen to this. I'm out. He says, I'm waiting for the 50 series. The 50 series? That's $2,000.
Yeah,
Mooch, I didn't know your octaves went that high, bro.
You know what I mean? That's
who's yelling?
Who's yelling? You haven't. You gotta watch my old stuff. I think like when it gets down to it, that's crazy. So, what I said to Babor just a second ago is, I said, listen, you want to build a PC? I say, do it. But you leave in PlayStation because the games are coming out a year later. Listen. If you're in this community and you're playing games and you're on YouTube and you're doing this stuff and you're going to the chats and you're hanging out and you love talking about the newest releases and what's going on, the good, the bad, the ugly, the review scores, what's happening, you wait a year and then you're going to show up to your favorite show and be like, hey guys, let's talk about Baldur's Gate, like the guys were doing at the beginning of this show. Crap went into a coma. I think when it comes down to it, it's like, it just doesn't make sense. If you're a casual gamer, and or Nib, like Nib said, you're coming from PS4 and you want to make a decision to go PS5, you don't have a PS5. Yeah, PC. I can see PC being an option for sure. Absolutely. But to say you have, 300 plus games, 500 plus games, 1,000 games on your PlayStation, and you've been playing since, 96.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And you're going to go buy a 50 series. So you're going to go drop. I mean, even if you buy the low end 50 series with everything you got to do, you're $1,800 out minimum. Like, I don't.
Yeah, because that library is not going with you on the PC.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
He says, I owned, shout out to Babor, I do appreciate Super Chats. He says, I've owned every console, spent countless thousands. Day one, F them, I'm out. I can wait. PS, go to PC. We are the adults that have the disposable income that can buy every game. But Babor, I'm not saying that you can't. I'm not picking up what you're putting down here. I'm really not. I don't really get.
He's saying that he don't like. Basically, what he's saying is that he don't like the decisions of the whole.
He don't like it.
Waiting a year minimum.
That's fine.
To bring a game to PC.
Yeah.
That's what he's
saying. Yeah, I mean,
and not just that. It sounds like he's, in a positive way, he's rich basically. So for him, it's like, okay, it's a year wait plus I can have the very best.
Listen, I
games,
don't.
Right?
I'm not really so much against what he's saying because I look at it more so from a PlayStation enthusiast standing point, right? Where since they made these moves to PC and they've been being more bullish with it, the console itself has been losing features, has been losing its exclusivity as far as why they sold you on a console. You have this. It's like, and it's these little small things that keep adding up too. Where it's like, damn, I can't share the Twitter. Damn, now I don't even have my resuming card features no more. Damn, I don't have communities.
None of
damn,
those,
PS Plus is going up in price.
None of those things. You know what I mean? None of those things are impacted by PC. None of those things you just mentioned.
No, but I'm saying that.
Yeah, but you have to look at what is
I think it goes hand in hand. I think what PlayStation is doing is that they're trying to blur the lines between the PlayStation experience and the PC experience, where even if you're playing on PlayStation, it's not too far away from what you can experience playing a game on Steam. Because everything that they sold you on the UI of the PlayStation 5 as far as it is uniqueness is all gone. It's not there.
Like what?
I think part of that though. I don't know. Again, I could be completely wrong. I don't know what's going.
I can stream a game. I can stream a game through my PS5 to your PS5. We can do picture in picture. I mean, they got rid of the help cards.
That was a unique feature to the PlayStation 5. The DualSense is a unique thing to the PlayStation 5. And there's a lot of things that was unique to where it was the selling points that get you into the console. It is no longer there, or it's no longer unique to the console. Is what I'm saying.
I was going to say, Barry, the reason I think it might be Pro related, and again, I'm just speculating, is because the PlayStation 5 has 2.5 gigs of its GDDR6 out of 16 available for use, and the PS5 Pro has 13.7. So this is roughly an extra gig of use, right? Where did it come from? Well, we don't know. It could have just been UI optimizations. It could be features removed or whatever. I'm thinking maybe they just looked at the data and said,
"That's exactly
only
what
this
it is."
Very small, very small percentage of people actually use these features. So rather than give an extra gig to developers to be able to do all these other stuff, we think that would be more beneficial. So we're just going to pull the feature.
They're just moving resources.
I don't think it's more beneficial. No, you talk to me, the gamer, before you make a decision like that.
No, but they have that data, don't they?
A strong, but the thing is, they have that data. They also had the data on nobody was buying games on the PlayStation 3 store, right? But guess what? People caused a whole knives and pitchforks at PlayStation. Why would you cancel that? Regardless if nobody was shopping there. That's what I'm saying. Regardless, it might be not a lot of people using the feature, but you're still losing uniqueness from the console. And that to me, that's crazy. And I feel like a lot of people is pushing it under the rug because they probably didn't use it, or they think it's not a really big deal.
Jay, the reason
it's adding up. We're losing too much stuff from a PlayStation 5.
But what you're losing has nothing to do with the PC movement. It doesn't. I love the McArch Deluxe. McDonald's took it away from me decades ago, okay? That doesn't mean that McDonald's took away my McDonald's experience, okay? That doesn't mean anything.
No,
it means
the only reason why I'm bringing up the
PC
is because I feel like since they started this whole initiative, from my perspective, I'm seeing more and more features from the PlayStation. It's being gone. You know what I mean?
But they're being gone because people they're not using them.
Let me ask you this, Barry. What if it was a decision between having that I forgot what it's called, the card feature, right? Or say having slightly more advanced physics and more NPCs in a scene.
And AI. There's gonna be a lot more AI.
I mean, you get into the game faster. I like the feature where if you started a side mission in the game, you can instantly go right to that side mission right from the card, and it's like 3 seconds into the game. Now each game, you got more physics and all that stuff. Now, and this is like, you know, luxury type of arguments type of things, because that was a luxury type feature, but that was a big sell on the next gen experience as far as like, I don't have to press the start menu and the load game. I can just go instantly into the game. And now that's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I like. Don't get me wrong, Jay. What you're saying, I'm not saying I don't want that back. But I'm just saying,
I agree.
Did I use it every day? Is that something that when I turn on my PlayStation,
I didn't use it. Yeah,
I didn't use it very much at all. And the
Barry
thing,
should blame me. Like,
I'm to blame too. I'm part of that.
I blame all you PlayStation.
But you know, you make a good point. You do make a good point, Nib, when you say how they want to utilize those resources. I know that exactly. There's going to be some of that AI that's going to be in the mix for the PS5 Pro as well. That's going to take up some resources. Like, there's just a lot going on when it comes down to it. At the end of the day, I don't think I just.
Can I add one more thing, Mooch?
Go ahead.
There is one thing I think that you know, and clearly in all of the PC crowd, I know they're going to probably clip me in. You can feel a lot of the, let's just say, insecurities, right? And it's like, what do you have to be insecure about? Like, you've got better PCs, right? Obviously, most people don't have better PCs. But the thing is, I think there is also another flip side of it, where some PC gamers or would-be people who haven't bought into any platform yet, who are waiting to jump into this generation, they might once again be enticed to PlayStation 5 Pro, where they may have got a PC.
Yep.
Because what we find is a lot of ports are not that great on PC, right? But Digital Foundry literally has a video where it's like the worst PC ports of the year, and they're doing it, right? And there's so many games on there now, and continually we have these issues where, especially around Unreal games, whether it's shader compilation or traversal stutter or whatever else. And yeah, consoles suffer this to a degree as well, but to a much more marginalized degree, and much less severity of stutter, right? So it's a weird thing where you can spend so much money on a high-end rig, but you're still, you know, approached by these random little issues and that compromise your gaming experience. And I can see some people looking at these like videos and looking at these analysis and stuff, where you know, Alex is saying like Unreal is the bane of his job. Like, every game he tests, he's just complaining about the stutter and he hates it. He wishes he could just analyze it. But I can see people saying that and say, okay, maybe I'm not getting all the bells and whistles on a PC, but I'm getting a convenient package, and because of PSSR and stuff like that, and the RDNA 4RT, I'm still getting closer to that. So maybe that is just the more convenient option.
I think when it comes down to it too, on the other side of the coin, though, on the console side, you explained the PC side, but the other side, Jay, that I would say to you is like Xbox One. They had the Kinect. When I used to come home, I used to be like, Xbox on, right? Everything came on. My TV came on. My Xbox came on. All my settings were right there that I liked. They got rid of that. They had Snap feature. They got rid of that, right? But when I ultimately,
I'm not for any of these consoles.
No, I understand.
I think it's a bad thing.
Wait a minute. That's fine, but that's not the issue I had with Xbox. Wasn't that they got rid of that stuff? People weren't using it. They showed the data. They weren't using it. The problem I had was with the quality of games, how from like 2016 to like the next generation Xbox Series S, they didn't have a lot of games come out after Sea of Thieves from first party.
I'm totally with you. That is
but that's
the important or the bulk of the experience. But at the end of the day, these features that we're losing are part of the quote unquote next gen experience, and the fact of the matter is that all I'm seeing is more features being lost by month by year, you know, and all I'm seeing is more people just being nonchalant about losing features of a console that you are invested in. So it's weird to me because at the end of the day, like I said, I brought up an example. Nobody was buying games on the PlayStation 3 store, but had a whole not even pitchforks because it was going away, and they kept it up because people they voiced their opinions. Now, when it comes to all these features being gone on the PlayStation 5 that we all bought, everybody's like, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's going to add up. That's what I'm trying to avoid when it comes to the platform I prefer. So I'm going to speak up.
That's fine. And you could listen, Jay. I implore you to speak up. I'm just saying to you that, like myself, I guess the reason I don't have a problem with it is I really didn't use it, but that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be there. But what I'm saying to you too is, you said,
that's
wait a minute, though, but hold on a minute.
The energy that you have there is what I'm trying to push.
That's fine, but hear me out. They got rid of that, but now from PS5 Pro and PS6, they're going to have PSSR. So they gave you something else. So what I'm saying to you is, you're like, they took something away. They took something away that meant near and dear to your heart. That's fine. I'm saying to you, a lot of people didn't use that. They took that away, but they didn't just take it away and give you nothing. Right? They're saying PSSR is going to be implemented going forward.
And they didn't use the pro modes for the game, they should take away PSSR?
You can't not use the pro modes, really, right? I mean, moving forward?
No, they still have the fidelity. They still have the
I got news for you.
Modes.
If
people are not using the quote-unquote third mode that, Digital Foundry or everybody's saying, should they take that away?
Should they or will they?
No, I'm asking should. I don't think they would, but I'm saying should they?
I think what it is, though, is like a gig of extra.
But they would. But wait a minute, though. But here's the thing, Jay. Don't get me wrong. Hold on, Nib. Hold on a second, because nobody can hear over my mixer sucks. So when I talk, you guys don't hear me. My point.
Yeah, you came in a little low.
Yeah, nobody can hear me when I talk because this damn mixer sucks. But hear me out. What I'm trying to say to you, Jay, is you use that example. That's fine. I like it for the conversation. But that's not an apples for apples. You're buying the PS5 Pro specifically for that. So you didn't buy the PS5 day one. You weren't like, oh, the games and this and that and the dual sets. No, not that. Those help cards.
No.
Those help cards.
People,
let me get those help cards.
We acting too cool for school now. You telling me that y'all ain't buy no PlayStation 5
for
console for the DualSense features?
I did.
Or what was sold to you with the UI? Because that was a big thing. The whole loading is a big thing.
DualSense definitely.
Remember though, the DualSense. They said the DualSense was going to be a gimmick. Right? Remember that? Mm-hmm. So what if it was a gimmick, Jay? And it really didn't do the things they said.
That's one of the best things about the console.
I know. That's my point. So the things that work that they sold you on are still there. Now you got third party clamoring to get at that DualSense. Okay? When people were like, I don't know if I'm going to use that. Now they do. My point is that the PSSR, that's the point of the PS5 Pro. You take that out, it's a PS5. So my whole thing is that that's not a fair apples to apples thing. They threw a lot of stuff at the wall. This is what they do every new generation. You throw stuff at the wall and you see what sticks. Jay, I'm not trying to take the love and admiration you have for the cards away from you. That's not what I'm trying to do in this conversation. I'm saying to you that that's what they decided to do. Xbox took away Snap. They took away Xbox On. They took away the Kinect. They took away a lot of things they promised day one, right? But really, at the end of the day, I use those all the time. The same way you use the cards. When they took those away, was I a little upset? Yeah, but I was more upset with Xbox when the games, the quality dropped a little bit. I saw the quality starting to drop down. The games weren't coming out, and then they promised games again in 2020. We didn't get Halo in 2020. We didn't get Starfield when they said 2022 was nothing at all. It was like, except for Pentiment. So those are the things that actually move the bar for me to move more to another platform.
I will say though, Mooch, because the thing is, obviously we didn't use that feature that much, whereas it resonated with him, right?
Which I get.
But Sony,
I use Snap and I use Xbox On. Nobody misses that.
But they should be cognizant of what people like him are saying, because the thing is, these things can stack, right?
Jay's point.
Because if too many things start stacking together, then that's when people are like, do you know what? I'm better off just going to.
I think it comes down to, like Jay said, if they started to take things away from the DualSense, and they started to, like Jay said, if they start to not use the PSSR, right? Because people aren't just things of that nature. We'll go top level here. Then I'm starting to go in Jay's camp. But the thing is the cards and the instant what's that thing Xbox someone was just putting it in there. Auto, what are they when you have quick resume? Like if Xbox got rid of quick resume, are the diehard Xbox fans being like, that's it, I'm out? You know what I mean?
I'm going to go one further and say maybe for the Series S they should get rid of it so it has more RAM to play with, because that's been a bit of an issue. But
All I'm saying is that these things are part of the experience.
I hear you.
And regardless, you have it heightens the experience as far as the games that you're playing.
It does.
At the end of the day, I really and truly, I just find it weird that people are so nonchalant to losing features of something that they invested in. It's always weird to me. And I don't understand like how everybody pick and choose what they want to speak up about.
Jay,
I feel like if you preferred console gaming, that's why I keep bringing up the whole PS3.
Jay, did you buy a PS5? Did you buy
example?
Jay, did you buy
people's not clinging on to?
Jay, did you buy a PS5 Pro? You have one coming November 7th?
Absolutely, yeah.
They took your disk drive away.
I never had a disk drive.
Oh, but do you own discs from PS4?
I do, but I never use it.
But my point is, they took that away from you.
No, they never took that away from me. I never use that. That's why I love the option of the whole both thing.
But I didn't use the cards. See what I'm saying? Why aren't you? Yeah. I have a lot of discs, physical.
Yeah,
still,
but
right?
So I'm a person that's all digital, right? But I'm not advocating for PlayStation to go all digital. If people saying that,
that's where they're going though, because that's the way you buy, Jay. That's the way you buy.
Physical disc. I'm going to be like, get the physical disc.
You just said to me, but me saying I don't mind the cards being gone because I didn't use them, that's taking features away. That's the type of person, that's a gamer that I am, that's provoking that. What I'm saying is you're doing the same thing with saying, I don't care, I didn't buy physical. That's not my problem. So you're saying the same thing.
No. What I'm saying is if PlayStation was to come out and say, we're getting rid of physical consoles altogether, and I see a bulk of the PlayStation community or gamers saying, no, they don't want that.
Right.
I'm a person that's all digital. I'm going to go on board with the people that don't want that because that's something that's hindering or it would dampen the experience of PlayStation because they take away physical games. That's the whole point of me bringing up. It's like, I don't understand why people are so nonchalant when it's lost features, even though you're not using it as a community or as a console.
All right, that's fair. But Jay, listen, and I'm joking here because that's what we always do in the community. We always joke but you start a petition saying bring back my help cards. I'm going to sign it.
No.
I'm there with you.
No, I can answer that though, because someone like me would prefer the extra memory to game allocation. But just because I didn't use it. But to be fair, like if I found out that loads of people did use it, like him, I would support it because at the end of the day, just because I didn't use it doesn't mean that
I don't want them to take it away.
Other people.
But I'm saying,
me personally, I would prefer the extra RAM because I know how much that can contribute to game design.
Right. Nib, you saying that though, and I get Jay's point. You saying you prefer the extra RAM. Jay saying give me the extra RAM and keep the cards, which I don't think Jay's wrong there. I'm just saying, like, we have gone through, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. Go try and buy a car right now with a CD player. Good luck. Right? So, but we all got CDs. So my point being, like, I just, eventually things start to move in a direction. And if people aren't using them, yes, they allocate those resources, money to something else. I don't necessarily think that's a negative as far as moving from gamers to console to PC.
So you're saying, Mooch, if let's say majority of the people, there's something that PlayStation is doing now, what a feature, and you were using it.
That's right.
But I wasn't using it, and they take it away. You telling me I shouldn't be like, hey, you know what? No, I'm going to speak up as well for you, Mooch. That's what you're saying I shouldn't do?
No, I said I would speak up for you. I said if you said you were going to do a petition to bring that back, I'm signing it for you, with you.
Oh, okay.
I'm there with. I said that just literally 2 minutes ago. My point is.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I missed that.
No, it's all right. It's because of this shitty mixer I got. But my microphone cuts out a lot. I hate that because the audience hears me, but you guys can't. That's the panel. I need the panel to hear me too.
You seem impassioned right now.
Well, the thing is because I feel Jay. No, I feel his pain. I love the snap feature, and I told Jay this. Jay was on the show one time when I said this. The reason I liked Xbox is I liked Xbox in 2013. They did things with the Kinect. I know no one liked it. That's fine. No one else liked it. I liked it. But I thought it was cool. Yeah. I like coming home. I literally throwing your keys down. I'm like, Xbox on. TV kicked on. This, that. Everything I liked was programmed right to the front there. I could even say, Xbox, go to whatever. And it went to whatever. It could have been TV. It could have been to my favorite game. Could have been to YouTube. So what I'm saying to you is I love that shit. And when I complained about it, everybody was like, let's go on, whatever. Phil got rid of it. Great. And it's like, okay, well, whatever. But I'm saying to you, like, I'm with Jay. Like, do I think Snap should come back? Yep. I thought that was awesome. Now there's no cable, but you can do Snap feature with YouTube in the corner or Netflix or I don't know, whatever. Maybe the NFL Network. Yeah. It's awesome. Or for you guys in England, your football, soccer here. Like, I think that's awesome. So
the thing is though, those
they watching that BBC.
They watch that.
But the thing is, like, with those things, it's always a balance, right? Because one of the reasons that I game on PlayStation more for multi-platforms, right? And even when sometimes the versions are better on Xbox, I still sometimes gravitate towards PlayStation now. Is like one because of the DualSense.
The DualSense really is like big. That's a huge feature.
Not even the controller. I don't even really care about like symmetrical, asymmetrical.
The ergonomics.
It's more like it's more the functionality of it, the feedback,
I like
the granularity.
Yeah,
to me it adds immersion. Right?
That's huge.
Like some games I've played, like for example, Control. I played the remake of that, and I actually thought it was like. A very different experience to playing it without DualSense, because the way the guns handled and you could hear every footstep and rain and shit like that. To me, it was really, really elevated the tension and the way it played. But also the other thing is, and this goes to the UI point, I find the UI in Xbox and the screenshot taking, just even you press the screenshot button, right? And there's like a 2-second delay.
There's a delay, yeah.
If you press it twice in a row, you get an error, and then it's like, sorry, like the screenshot failed. And not just that, you can't take any other video recording for like at least 20 seconds. And it's like, okay, so I just missed that cool scene now. Great, fucking great. And then other things like if you want to, on PlayStation, you can spam the screenshot button in a cool section. Like say I want screenshots for my Twitter or whatever, right? While also recording a video, or recording the video after I've spammed the screenshot button loads of times, completely fine. No issues with the video recording, and I can record up to 60 minutes. Xbox, it's like 3-minute recording time, something stupid.
Xbox,
and if you,
I don't like that.
If you press screenshot anytime, that video will have gaps in it. But every time you press the screenshot button, it will literally just suddenly pause and skip to the next, like a few seconds down the line. And then these kind of things, I'm like, the UI, just the whole process, like, okay, you gave me a quick resume, but I would actually prefer you just get rid of quick resume and brushing up these other things that I use more often. I understand not everyone will agree with that. Like some people love quick resume. That's awesome. But for me, like just the general UI speed and the function of like the DVR and the screenshot, I would prefer they prioritize
I just never,
that stuff.
The thing with quick resume that never really held water with me, or at least this is the way the advertisement, the way I use, when I see people using it online, the very few that I see, I've never been in the middle of like a Gears of War, and I'm like, you know what I want right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm in, in the middle of a race, and I'm like, you know what I need right now? Halo Infinite. Like, I don't feel like I need to jump that fast. Generally, if I'm switching games, I like to I actually like going back to the home screen. I go, you refresh your beverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you click on it, it comes like, I don't know. And don't get me wrong, maybe that's just me being old school gamer. I don't know. Maybe people like that instant gratification to be in the middle of a race and then be like, you know what I need right now?
That's more the times that we grew up in.
Yeah, exactly. Jay, you're right. Now I need to play with a shotgun and a chainsaw on it. Now. So I don't know. Myself personally, I don't get that. I think that's a bit of a gimmicky thing.
Everyone does the DVR features better. It's like Steam instant screenshots.
Yeah. Steam's instant screenshots
F12, and if you want to record a video, NVIDIA can do it for you.
The Twitter thing, losing the Twitter thing sucked.
Too.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Losing the Twitter capability on Xbox and PlayStation, I'm sorry, that's bad. That sucked.
And Switch.
Switch.
But that's not their fault though.
No, that's
Elon
X.
Musk.
That's Elon. Yeah, that's X.
Yeah,
but
he wanted to charge like ridiculous sum, $500,000, I think.
It's insane.
500. Yeah, 500,000 per annum for the implementation.
That's insane. I'm sorry.
That's why I think if you're an Xbox gamer, like now you should be gravitating more towards PC, especially if you don't want to go to PlayStation.
Oh, they're on the way, Singer. They're on the way
towards PC because I mean you're getting like the
not,
better
not, if,
UI
not if
experience.
Xbox games go to not if Xbox games go to PlayStation.
Well,
then that whole
then again that comes down to are you a console only gamer or are you willing to move? Because if you don't want to deal with everything you have to deal with PC and you just want the simplicity, get yourself a PlayStation. But if you're like, I really don't care, then you could, and you have the funds, you could go to PC. But now you have an option. Do you want to go to PlayStation? Do you want to go to PC? Or do you want to go to Nintendo? Who knows? Some people do that.
Yeah. True.
But so
I do have one. I have one quote for you guys from PlayStation, all right, about the Pro. Because obviously, yes, it is for PlayStation enthusiasts, and I hear like even Digital Foundry say it's for the people who already have a PS5 and want to have better, bells and whistles and stuff. But even PlayStation has actually stated that it's also to entice the PC crowd, and I'll just read the quote. There's a dip mid-console life cycle where the players who want the very best in.
He's gonna have to come back. Nib, you cut out.
Yeah.
Phil got out.
Oh shit!
Phil,
it doesn't let
Nib,
me.
you gotta read it again,
doesn't
buddy.
let me split. So basically, point is, they say there's a point mid-gen in the console life cycle where they find gamers start to transition to PC because they want better gameplay experiences, and the current gen consoles basically can't keep up. And they say the Pro is designed for that type of gamer to dissuade them from going to PC and instead to stay in the console.
That was the original thought plan. What Andrew House with PS4
exactly
as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's to stop people from gravitating over, but I think people misconstrue it. Like, they want to entice PC gamers to come, and it's like, I'm sorry, as good as PlayStation is, if you have a 4090, PlayStation is not offering you better performance in any game you can imagine.
No, but how many are going to buy a 4090?
The only incentive. But even still, with like a 4070, you're still on par. But then it's like, it's the same principle as like, well, would you give up your PlayStation library you built over the last 20 years? Would you give up that library to go to a new platform and start again? Would you give up your thousands of games on Steam to go to PlayStation and start again? And if you just want it for the first party exclusives, they're few and far between, so then you have to weigh up, well, okay, do I want 1 or 2 games a year, 3 games a year, and pay the $700?
Yeah.
Or do I just go, fuck it, and just stay?
I'll be honest.
So it's not dragging them over, to be honest.
No, I'll be honest, I would personally, because I don't really play old games very often. Very rarely and seldom do I play older games. I'm usually just on to the next one, onto the next one, onto the next one. Sometimes when they patch something, they add a new game plus, or it's like a remaster, like Horizon Zero Dawn. Then I might dabble. I think the only games I actually replay are like my favorite of all time type games. Those I'll replay quite a lot. But otherwise, so I actually personally don't care about leaving my library behind. I would, like, say PlayStation came out this generation and they were trash and their games were really bad, the cadence of releases were bad, and on the other side of the spectrum, Xbox, even though I buy all the consoles anyway, but let's just imagine I didn't. If Xbox like had all the best games and they were, critical darlings and they were the kind of games that appealed to me, I would easily move over. And I feel like throughout gaming, gamers have actually shown they are also willing to do that. Maybe it's slightly different now because we're in the digital age and the library age, but when we go back every generation, things have actually transitioned quite a lot. Like, people tend to just gravitate to wherever the best product and games are without really much consideration for the brand or existing libraries, for backwards compatibility. In fact, like, PlayStation actually did better oftentimes when they removed backwards compatibility from their systems, like the PS3, so they could actually make the cost lower. So like with Nintendo, when people switch from Nintendo to PlayStation in the early days, or like from PlayStation to Xbox, or the Wii with the PS3 days, or they dropped it for the Wii U and then went back to the Switch. I feel like gamers in general are not that fickle, and they will just always gravitate to the best product instead of these other kinds of things. But I could be wrong.
You know what's interesting too? The one I was having this conversation just gaming the other day, and someone brought it up, and I thought it was interesting. Like the fact that we have the Fortnites and the Warzones and the Apex, those games, and I don't know how to actually put this because it'll like until they're not available on like a PS4 or an Xbox One, right? Like, where's that when Jay, you remember this, when we were going from the PS2 to the PS3, Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, there was that push that everything that was on those last generation were going to stop being made on that last generation console. Nowadays, there's no end in sight. Like Fortnite's not
architecture.
Yeah, Jay. I feel like that's almost like holding us like back in a sense, and I don't mean that necessarily to just be like this is all doom and gloom, but let me ask you guys on the panel instead of me just putting it this way: do you think we'll ever see Fortnite not be available on the PS4?
Nope.
So the PS4's life. How long will the PS4 life?
No, I think it.
Cycle?
I think it will eventually. I reckon eventually they'll have like a new patch that is not available, but it will be really far into the distant future where barely anyone is ever using PlayStation 4 anymore. But I think it will eventually happen.
But if you have,
it depends on the player. Like if people are still playing it, which is kind of crazy, on PlayStation 4, they will always have like some type of version there.
Exactly.
Kind of like how like a phone will update.
Yep.
And you got the iPhone 11, but iOS 18 is out. You might got like 3 of the features. You're missing a whole bunch of.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because the thing is too, like the PC, right? Like you could still have a 1080 card. Singer, you could have it. I'll call our PC expert in Death Singer. Singer, you could have a 1080 card right now and play Fortnite.
Yeah, of course you can. No problem.
How low can you go on PC and still play Fortnite? Do you know off the top of your head? I don't mean to put you on the spot like that, but
the minimum specs is let me just
I'm just curious because like think about it. Like people say, well, Mooch, why would people stop playing on PS4 if anybody who has any type of working PC can play it? And I'm like, that's a good point, right? Like the only thing that would happen is their PS4 would eventually like let's be crazy here. 12 years into the future, your PS4 might die, right? So if it doesn't work anymore, then you upgrade. But I mean, you're going to wait for everyone's PS4s to pass on? I don't know.
Now, this is the bare minimum as of 2024.
Yeah. What's it say?
But the minimum requirements is 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Okay.
Integrated graphics, right? So a lot of dedicated graphics.
Wow, you don't even need a card. Yeah. Wow.
And an Intel and an Intel Core i3 processor, right?
Oh, wow.
So this is super ancient technology. This is for 1080p at like 25 to 30 FPS, right? This is the bare bottom minimum.
Right.
That's the bare bottom minimum required. Like, you don't even need a GPU to run Fortnite, right? So it's the same.
Wow,
like, thing is, you could scale up, but obviously it's like, see, a lot of games don't require that much hardware. A lot of these constant live service games, you think of the longest best-selling games, it's like League of Legends, you could run on a toaster, right? But it's been alive for 12 years. And it's still going incredibly strong. So these games don't really need to leave the PS4. Like,
no, I agree with you. No, the numbers prove what you just said. So, Jay, when you hear something like that, like, how do we get that next evolution of movement when we have so many people playing these free-to-play games? And I picked on Fortnite, but it's not just Fortnite. It's all those free-to-play games. Jay, there's nothing that ever closes the chapter. The book continues to be written. Instead of buying the next chapter, the next book, just imagine if you owned a book where just every 3 months a new chapter appeared at the end of the page. There's more pages. You're not going to go buy a new book. Your book continues to progress. It's just like that's one of the things I think that holds us back, and not a lot of I don't know. Maybe a lot of people do talk about it, but I think that's one of the things that when people say, "Geez, I don't see that graphical leap. I don't see that leap. I don't see this. I don't see that progression like I thought we would." Well, it's because when people saw that go from the Xbox OG Xbox right to 360 and Gears of War, and everybody was floored, right? That was a big thing, right? Seeing Uncharted 2, that was a big thing.
You know what the leap was, Mooch?
What's that?
My goddamn resume activity card.
What's
the leap? That was the leap right there.
Oh, damn.
You know what I'm saying? I got you.
I walked right into that. I walked right into that one, Jay. Damn. He goes, that was my leap.
Yeah.
What was that?
GTA 5 Online, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Super mega uber popular, right?
Yes, very, very.
Super duper mega fantastic.
There's still like 200,000 people watching it on Twitch.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yes. Right. Here's the minimum requirements, right?
What do you got?
An NVIDIA 9800 GT or an AMD 4870.
We talking about GTA 5?
Yeah,
GTA Online.
GTA 5 was 2 generations away. You know what I mean? So,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, but GTA 6 will move the needle, bro. Like it will get people to transition.
GTA 6 will move the needle, but it's like all the super popular games you could run on a toaster essentially. Like, so when people was just like, well, all I play is Call of Duty, FIFA, and like GTA Online or something, is like Fortnite. You really don't need to move from the PS4. So the only
if you want the higher quality, you can still run those games, but if you want the fidelity, if you want the higher frames, the glitz and glamour, you're gonna have to upgrade. You know, it's no different than GTA 5. GTA 5 got multiple iterations as far as like upgrades to that game.
Yeah.
So I do think they will. How many people still play on PS4 though, and didn't make the transition to PS5? Like they're still there because
PlayStation not really like forcing people as like how they did with PS3 to PS4. My bad.
Yeah. No. I was going to say the thing that might also move the status quo or whatever is if you notice like new releases, they are selling less and less and less on the current gen systems, right? Like even Miles Morales, 90% of the sales were on PS5 and 10% were on PS4. So on the new titles, eventually these publishers are going to make the analysis that
it doesn't really War.
Exactly. It doesn't really make sense for us to pour all this money. Not only do we compromise the design of these new games, but we also we're spending all this money on porting and stuff. And we don't really need to because it's a diminishing margin of people who are actually buying the games on the existing platforms. But they're mostly staying for this live service stuff. And I think the more and more current gen only games we get, and the more the transition moves over, eventually even the Fortnites and stuff, they'll be like, okay, so 5 years from now, the new big Fortnite 2.0 update that we do, we will just move over to a more current gen friendly engine, and we'll be able to show off these new visuals and new features and new transitions and things you could never do, like instant teleportation that will make use of the SSDs and stuff like that you couldn't do before. I think they will eventually have that. We just haven't reached that point yet, because of all sorts of reasons, because they're too popular, because people can't afford the new hardware and all sorts of reasons. But eventually I think that will level out.
Oh, eventually, yeah, it will. But it's like you look at the amount of PS4 users and then the amount of PS5 users, and it's like eventually they're gonna gravitate over. But it's gonna take like there's still probably be more PS4 users.
But I mean,
PS5 users in general, anyway.
So because we're at that point now where like it's really only the sports games going forward and stuff, and these less
Call of Duties.
Call of Duties and less blockbuster. But I think like it seems like going forward, a lot more of the releases are current gen only, right? From Black.
Call of Duty though could eventually, because remember, what are you getting? The campaign and the multiplayer. It doesn't affect Warzone. Yeah. Warzone's its own animal. So you could hypothetically see Call of Duty hopefully going to current gen only, and of course Warzone remaining across all platforms, right? Old and current console. I think that's. Let me ask you guys a question though, Jay. I'll start with you on this. This is something that I'm intrigued because a lot of people. One of the debates I saw going on X recently was PS5 Pro's not. It's not for everybody. We know that. But PS5 Pro won't even do as well as PS4 Pro. Jay, I think once you start seeing, I'll use a couple of names here: Dead Island 2, Helldivers 2, Dragon's Dogma 2. Well, it's a lot of twos, but nonetheless. My point being, Jay, is these people have already come out and said, we're doing a PS5 Pro Enhanced Edition, and man, it's going to blow your socks off. It's unbelievable. So, Jay, do you think the PS5 Pro having the capability of PSSR and the other, in the upgraded GPU, etc., does this give the PS5 Pro a leg up over the PS4 Pro? I mean, do you think you'll see more sales?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like anybody was saying that like the PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 4 Pro was like a bigger leap than what the PS5 Pro is. That was kind of completely insane.
Yeah, that was.
You know what I mean? We're seeing so many examples now as far as like, all right, here are these people that do this for a living.
Yep.
And they're telling you the examples. They're zooming in 500% to tell you like, yo, the quality is way better.
Telescope.
Yeah, the image quality is way better, and it's not just the image quality; it's the frame rate. The preferred frame rate where a lot of gamers want to play in. So like I personally don't see how people can be bashing the PlayStation 5 Pro outside of the price, because that is a unwarranted territory as far as like people are not used to or seeing a console cost so much. But I do feel like when gamers get it in their hands and actually can do the comparisons for themselves and can recognize the differences, word of mouth is definitely going to sell it, and people are going to be impressed with it.
Okay, yeah, I do agree exactly. Nib, what do you think? Do you think you're going to see I wouldn't use the word spike, but I'm even seeing people that maybe months ago were saying they were not going to buy it, and now people saying, you know what, the hell with it. They either traded in their PS5 OG or their Xbox Series X. They got that money. I mean, is that something you're seeing?
Yeah, that is, and that is something I said would happen, because this is the same cycle every bloody time. Because whether it's with the Portal or with the VR or with the DualSense Edge, it's always you have, and I have to be honest, mostly a contingent of fans on the other side of the spectrum. They will bash the hell out of it. Who is this for? It's going to be such a niche thing. No one's going to buy it. And then the reviews drop and the previews drop, and they're really positive. And then the sales happen, and then they do really well. Portal over 2 billion sales, DualSense Edge, the best-selling accessory dollar sales every year.
The Portal, the DualSense Edge. It happens with games too, Nib. It happens with games too. Bluebird team was getting dragged around, saying how bad they were. The reviews come out. I can't believe how good this is, and look at the sales.
Yeah. So my thing is like, okay, when they first revealed it, even when I heard PSSR, right? Okay, AI, PlayStation's dipping their toes in the DLSS space. Like that's actually a big thing, because technology is not moving in the same way that it was. The only way you can compensate it is with this image quality thing, because you're saving rendering budget by rendering much lower base resolution. But to the people who 800p or 1080p or 1240p or whatever, like that actually doesn't matter. The output resolution is what's the most important. If the AI upscaling is competent enough, like DLSS, that is giving you close to 4K or 1440p or whatever, that's actually all that matters. And the lower the resolution that you can achieve that image quality, the better it is for you as a consumer, because they can allocate those resources to other things, graphical fidelity, frame rate, or whatever else. So people laughing about it have actually completely missed the point of PSSR. The lower the resolution that you can still achieve good image quality, the better it is for gamers who are playing on that system. For me, even when they announced the specs, I was like, okay, there's going to be all this animosity about the price. Even me, I was like quite negative on the fact that they didn't include the drive and stuff, which I'm still annoyed about. But I thought, as soon as those previews and stuff drop, I have a feeling they're going to be really good. At least if PlayStation nail PSSR, and it sounds like from all the preliminary tests, they've done like an incredible job. Like they've blown FSR out of the water, which it should have anyway, because it's hardware based. But even compared to DLSS, in places they are, DLSS is still better, but in places PSSR actually is performing better in sort of edge smoothing and edge aliasing and things like that.
Do you think we'll see? Will we see much like DLSS? Will we see PSSR version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0? Will we see that?
Yeah, 100%.
Right,
we're already getting that now.
Okay, so
even Moore's law was saying, like, you know, he pushed all the leaks. His source was accurate about all the leaks, all the specs and everything, even down to the numbers that Bernie shared. They were all right. So there's no reason we shouldn't believe all the other documentation that he's sharing, because literally everything has been accurate. And even though that documentation is constantly talking about updates that are happening to PSSR during this beta period that are also increasing the quality every time, every update. And even Digital Foundry in their video in which they tested 11 games, the developers are literally saying PlayStation is updating PSSR constantly based on our feedback, and it's getting better and better and better.
Wow.
So I think even the version that we have at launch is going to be better than what we've seen in previews. And I would say just be wary about the initial tests that Digital Foundry and anyone do, because just like we had the PS5 early tests, they were not actually indicative of the PS5 performance, because most of those games like didn't have that much time with the new hardware, or you know, they were patched and stuff like that. They were like running in BC, backwards compatibility mode. It will be similar with the PS5 Pro. A lot of these games, you know, even the F1 developers, Codemasters, they said we haven't actually had that much time with the PS5 Pro. We need more time to experiment with it. Insomniac said the same thing. We're still experimenting with the PS5 Pro. We're experimenting with what ray tracing we can do. So this first batch of, I'm not saying it won't be impressive, but when we retest a year from now, I guarantee it will be way better. If you look at the initial PS5 launch comparisons with equivalent hardware, they had it at way lower GPUs and stuff equivalent, because those games just weren't utilizing the PS5. And then in Digital Foundry's latest comparison, it was outperforming a 2070 Super, right? The PS5.
Okay. Yeah.
So again,
your rebuttal?
Outperforming the 2070 Super. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as they said, it was outperforming it. It's like,
ain't that the GPU you got?
No, 3080, which is well above that.
No, he's.
So my Pro better than your GPU.
Well, we don't know what the exact performance is versus the 3080. We still don't know yet. We have to wait and see, because don't count your chickens before they hatch, because if they turn on all this
I'm counting them. I got 30 of them. I'm counting them.
But yeah, you can clip me. Guarantee when they redo the test 6 months to a year after the initial test, whatever performance you're seeing from the PS5 Pro will be even better. It'll be even better, and PSSR will be even better.
You also have to remember, it's better than 2070. But the 2070 released in 2018. The PS5 didn't release until 2020. So it's already old technology. Yeah. So it's like console will release, it might perform a little better, but PC is constant iteration, whereas console is locked.
So wouldn't that prove my point as far as saying the PlayStation 5 Pro is better than your 3080?
Well, until we see the performance differentials.
Oh, now you got to see the.
Well, no, because it's like. Yeah. Well, no, it's because people were saying the PS5 Pro was going to outperform like a 4080, and it's not the case. Like, they were comparing it because that's the measure that you have to use because
This is interesting, Singer. But Singer, this is interesting. The other thing you have to keep in mind, though, Singer was like, "Don't forget that's a 2018 card." I just Googled, and maybe this is right, maybe it's not wrong. It's on Google right here. GeForce RTX 2070, October 17th, 2018, MSRP was $600. So it was $600. Remember this though. Remember this first, and that's just the card. So if you had a 2070 in 2018 with the card, and you do the build, you do the PC build for me, is that roughly $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, whatever? My point being, even if you went cheap on everything else, right? So my point being is that console game, you see, we just had a conversation. Singer, you were here. $700 for a console. Let's make some videos. So if everyone's pissed off at that, like, that's the thing. So console gamers, they're just like you said. You say to me all the time, you're like, Mooch, you're like, PC gamers our mindset is that we're not going to pay a lot for games. We're not going to pay for internet. We're not going to pay for, playing online, right? Well, console gamers have a mindset that they're not going to go spend, $1,200 or $1,500. So it's constantly moving the. That's why we're always a couple of years behind in the technology, is because. Sure, they could put the equivalent into the box. I think it would cost a fortune for console gamers, and they wouldn't buy it. So that's the thing when it comes down to it. Everyone always says the same thing for their favorite platform, but then they don't want to do the conversion for the other side. And you say, well, Mooch, the reason PC gamers won't go back to console is they're not going to pay for online. That's fine. But console gamers, to pay for the latest and greatest, they're not going to pay. Like shout out to Babor Country, who I love Babor to death. But Babor's like, I'll wait till the 5090. Now, if he, within his financial means, can afford it, I say, Babor, you go do it. But like to say, I'm not going to get the PS5 Pro, but I'm going to go buy a 50 series card, I mean, that's not apples for apples.
Then again,
it's not.
That's the thing. It's like for console gamers, the PS5 Pro is a great upgrade, right? It's the ideal upgrade, right? But then it's like if you go,
you said great first.
Yeah, either way, it doesn't matter. It's a great upgrade
in real time.
Jay.
But then it's like PC. It's like, let's say you bought a 4090 now. You're good for the next 5-6 years.
Yeah.
You don't need to upgrade. It's a choice to upgrade. You're not forced to upgrade.
You're right, Singer.
Yes, it costs 2,000, but think of how over 5 years, how much is that you're actually paying, but then how much are you recouping in other departments? Sure, I just paid 2,000 for a graphics card, right? Over 5 years. But I save 20% off every game I buy over 5 years. Do the math, it'll balance.
Yeah, but that's this is what I always try to remind people on the show. I've had people on like you. Crap was on the show for years. Crap would buy every game that came out when it came out. You buy a lot of games when they come out. You have to understand, somebody spending that $2,000, they're not you. They're sometimes buying 4 games a year. So that 20% discount on those games, that doesn't add up to a lot.
Well, but then again,
I mean, but even on the console side, you can get those discounts, or there's other avenues to get those stuff too that people
and trade in and resell games. Like you can,
but you
got physical options.
Like console, you have no choice. You either get the PS5 or the PS5 Pro. That's your options.
Whereas PC, but you don't have to. It's no different than you don't have to get a 4090.
Well, exactly.
You don't have to get a PS5 Pro. The PlayStation 5 is built to last 7-8 years in the for the generation.
It has to.
That's right.
Because it has to.
Yeah.
And that's where you see the console. It jumps up initially, but then PC. Because it constantly iterates every year with new graphics cards. Technology constantly gets better. So at the end of the generation, the console will be vastly behind the PC. But then when the PS6 comes out, it'll catch up to the PC. But then the same thing will happen by the end of the PS6 generation. So it's perfectly fine. So I don't know why people are arguing. If you don't want to pay $700, you don't have to. It's an option.
No.
Like, do I want a 50 series?
First of all,
it's an option.
I would like to mention too, if you don't want to pay $700, and Jay, I'm glad Jay was on the channel, the show, and I think Persona said the same thing. Jay and Persona decided they're going to keep their PS5s, right? They collect consoles, they keep them, but like majority of people, it's not $700. You trade it in, and it's I got $360 for my PS5, and I didn't even go when it was at its highest. I think the highest it was $410. Trade in, I went and I got $360 on Pro Week about 3 weeks ago. I went a little late, but that's still, so I'm paying less than half for a PS5.
Send me that 30th anniversary, man. Talk to me.
I wish I got that.
You know what, Mooch? Because PlayStation put the price up in the UK by like £70, I'm actually barely losing any money at all. Imagine, like, I played this console I probably put thousands of hours in it, right? And 4.5 years, and I'm almost going to get my money back. It's so funny because it's like I feel like I robbed them.
Yeah,
it's like, okay,
that's the thing.
The trading deals has been great, where it is tempting, but one of the big things I want to do when the Pro is actually do my own comparison. So I got the monitor set up.
Yeah, true.
I want to see, here's the difference, here's the size difference, things like that. Just to talk about.
No, you being the content creator, Jay, that makes perfect sense. And honestly, I think you have one of each console. Do you not still have that in your possession? Do you have a PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4 in the house, or no?
Oh, I don't have I have the PlayStation Mini, not a PlayStation 1 console or PS2, but I got my original PS3, the big boy, my PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, and
there you go. That's what I'm saying. So you have you collect. I have the PS2, and I have
I have
the Fat Boy PS3. With the PS4, I traded that in for the PS5. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I was like, I got these games are gonna go over. I'm good.
Yeah,
you know. So I did that, but
go
ahead.
No, I was going to say, Mooch, just one thing. Like, it's interesting because the thing he brought up, like, the 2070 Super is quite an old card. But interestingly, when him saying that, so this is one of the things that is actually exciting about the PS5 Pro, maybe more than I was anticipating, and certainly more than the PS4 Pro, is the thing with the GPU race right now is NVIDIA basically walked away with it, right? Because of their DLSS technology and their ray tracing technology and everything like that. AMD is not really that much of a competition. Maybe they have raster performance that can compete, but if you want the DLSS, it's going to dog walk FSR, right? So we're comparing to 2070 because the 2070 was already way ahead of, or is already way ahead of the AMD equivalents, because it has features that just offer a more tangible benefit to your gaming, right, in terms of the AI upscaling and stuff like that. And that is actually what is exciting about the PS5 Pro, because as Digital Foundry themselves said, it's almost like PlayStation has designed a console that is closer to the NVIDIA feature set, even though it's being produced by AMD, right? So we're finally getting something on the console side that is similar-ish to DLSS. We're finally getting much more performant ray tracing, or at least based on the specs anyway. So these are the kinds of things that make it exciting. And where before, we're having to compare to old GPUs because NVIDIA was so far ahead. Now finally with the PS5 Pro, at least PlayStation is doing things that the current AMD GPUs don't have. And that is exciting.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I really, really do. I think, and again, I think the cost for the performance, like I said, I would talk Death Singer into it, but there's no way he's going back to console. Maybe one day. The great
He will November 7th, because we're gonna flood that timeline with pro content, pro screenshots. Listen, if you are anti PlayStation 5 Pro, mute Twitter, because we gonna flood the airwaves with PlayStation 5 Pro content.
No, the thing is, Mooch, it's the content you offer me would draw me to your platform, but they don't offer me the content I want, so I don't have to go to your platform.
That is BS. Knock it off.
No, okay. That isn't BS. No,
it means
factually isn't BS.
Like the RTS of the day.
If I go through the games, it's like God of War doesn't really interest me. Last of Us doesn't interest me. Fucking did what interests me? Like Ghost of Tsushima was the most interesting thing in recent years. Hey, I even gave Horizon a go because I was like, I'll try the RPG. Not a good game. I didn't like it. I'm good. So it's like.
Wait, Destiny, you haven't played God of War though. You haven't played Ragnarok.
No, it doesn't interest me. So why am I going to play a game that doesn't interest me?
Yeah,
why
but neither did Ghost of Tsushima. Neither did Ghost of Tsushima to begin with, and you loved it.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima interests me, but I'm not going to buy your console for one game.
You didn't initially. Remember, you said you weren't that interested in it, and then you played it and you loved it. You never know, that can happen.
No, but I was interested in Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't. See, this is where new people who haven't met me versus people who know me, this is the difference, because the videotapes is out there. See, if you watch Scumcast, you'll know.
Oh, wow.
I liked Ghost of Tsushima.
No, but I'm saying before release.
I'm not gonna... No, before when they showed it, I was like, this is a good game. It interests me.
Okay.
I'm not going to buy a console buy a console for one game. So one game is not going to get me.
Yeah.
There were more games and the games that were coming to PlayStation that interested me, like a lot of the JRPGs, come to Steam anyway.
So let me say,
console for that either, so.
let's say Demon Souls, Astro Bot, Returnal, none of these games, Rift Apart, none of them interested in you.
No, none of them do. No.
That's crazy, yo.
That's wild.
And not even Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy 16, not Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth,
that's
not Stellar Blade.
Oh no, he was interested in Final Fantasy 16. he just wasn't buying a PlayStation 5 for it. I remember that conversation vividly.
Remember that,
exactly.
Jay?
Yeah, exactly. See, Jay knows. It's like, I'm not going to buy a console. I'm not going to... It makes no sense to me buying a second platform when PC's my main gaming platform. There's no point to me doing it for like 1 or 2 games, or like 1 game drops a year. What's the point to me having a console for like 1 or 2 games?
I mean,
no point.
You say that, but I have an Xbox, and that's basically been my experience.
But that's you.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, fine. Yeah, no, fair. I think that's perfect. Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine.
I want the value to be there. If they release like 3 games a year that I'm interested in, okay, now we can have a conversation. But if you're only releasing like 1 game a year I'm interested in.
Okay, what about, so this year, let's take this year, what about Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and Astro Bot?
The only game that interests me out of that is Stellar Blade, and we knew it's coming to PC because they already announced it, so I'll just wait for it. Rebirth doesn't interest me. Astro Bot doesn't.
Rebirth does not interest you?
No, it really doesn't. I fell off the Final Fantasy after 15.
What did you say you were going to wait for?
You're wild.
Singer, would you say you said they announced it, so I'll wait for it? What game was that? Sorry.
Stellar Blade. They announced it coming to PC.
Oh, okay.
It's already coming. We already know.
He wants Jay. He wants to play with the mods. He wants the mods for Stellar Blade.
I don't
already know. You already know. You already know. Like all this.
Oh, so you a freak?
Hey, the thing is, I put my freak.
You want to have their freak offs on the PC version.
He wants to get that PC version.
But the thing is, Barry, I don't hide it. Everyone knows
he does it. He does
That's why they brought it up.
Dude, I love Singer to death, dude. It's great.
So you want to play as Eve, whatever, but you don't want to do that with Tifa?
The thing is,
here we go. No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
I don't even want to hear it.
The thing is, with 7 Remake, I installed all the mods, and it's great. Like Barrett is Master Chief. Who doesn't like that? But at the same time. Yeah,
who would do that, bro? Who would do that? That's a travesty, bro. No, you should be jailed for that.
I'm offended. I'm offended by that. I'm offended by that.
Jay's offended.
I'm lock this guy out, man.
I'm offended.
You lucky over there across the pond, man. I'd have kicked you dead in your shit if you'd have told me that.
Yo.
The thing is, Barrett being Master Chief, it's actually really well done. Like, it looks natural.
Master Chief is a terrible character. Barrett's an amazing character. They're a big difference.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's like these games I can wait for, so it's, it's just one of those things. It's...
Hey, listen,
PlayStation
you know what?
doesn't make what I want, so...
They actually do, but you want to wait till it comes to your platform.
That's fine, right?
He's gonna be like, what's that dude, Hagi, who remember he used to say like, "Oh, I hate walking simulators, cinematic games. They're not games. They don't have." And then when Hellblade 2 comes out, he's like 9 out of 10. Best game of the year.
That's how it normally goes. You know what I mean? They wait till it comes to your platform.
No,
it's funny as hell.
It's not that. It's just 1 or 2 games a year is not enough for me.
So, do you have a Switch, Singer?
Absolutely not.
Okay, all right.
I
believe your actual notions because you don't have.
Jay, don't go there. Don't go there. Here he goes with his Switch talk. You're really.
I'm gonna say, why do I need to own a Switch? That's all I'm gonna say, Barry. Why?
Because I was gonna be like, okay, so what games interest you this year? From the Switch that
he means he's the IRMERT's kind of guy,
Yeah. I was like, Jay, you're gonna end up getting in a boat and going over across that pond and kicking him in the shins.
On the seas with that pirate.
Jay,
don't worry, Singer. Don't worry, Singer. November 7th, we'll have our back and forth on Twitter because, like I said, I'm coming straight for you. Pause. The first picture.
Oh my god! I gotta go. Here, Singer, I'll let you off the hook real quick. I got a couple of super chats. Shout out to Liquid Tada. He says, why do we keep talking about the Switch? It hasn't even left last gen yet. It's been out for damn near 8 years, and we're still talking about its sales. Liquid, that's just the way it is with Nintendo, man. They got their own rule book. They do their own thing.
Nintendo's about to overtake the PS2.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. They're probably holding on for that. I think that Switch 2 comes out. What are you guys thinking? March? Are they going to do March or are they going to do holiday? March or holiday?
Yeah. Yeah, I see March, April.
Yeah, March, April, I think. I think so. Unlike Singer, I will definitely be getting that Switch too. But I will say I will be trading in. Here's the thing, not to keep the show going, but real quick, guys. I have the Switch OLED, and that thing is beautiful. And the rumors, it's only rumors, is that the Switch 2 is not gonna start with an OLED. Now, we all know from having the PS5.
No, don't tell me that, dude.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
I'm not buying it then. I'm not buying it.
A lot of people are saying what you're saying, but hear me out.
Yeah.
But let's be honest though, Nib, you have a PlayStation Portal, right?
Yeah. I was going to go there.
Yeah, the Portal screen is not an OLED and it looks damn good. Just saying.
It does. That's true.
Just the Portal screen, I don't know what they did with that, but that screen is gorgeous.
It's nice.
It's a beautiful screen.
It's
nice. Like micro LED or something, isn't it?
That's streaming. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Damn. You just turned it on. It's like,
yeah, do you know what? I take that back. I will still. If it's still good black levels and has good contrast, I'll still get it.
So my question, Nib, is are you keeping your Switch OLED then? Even if you buy a new one, or are you trading it up?
No, I'll trade it in. Or I'll give it to one of my relatives.
Yeah, but that's okay. So that would be keeping it, regardless. Even if you're giving it away, that's keeping.
Yeah.
Wait, but hopefully the relative isn't someone that's going to want to play a Switch 2 game. But nonetheless, I digress.
Nah, they won't be picky. Like my nieces and nephews and stuff, I just give them hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
But I will say I am very excited for the Switch 2 because at the end of the day, that will have DLSS, and again, it's gonna go over this primary negative of the Switch, which is image quality, right?
Yes.
It looks like blurry ass. So at least now we can actually play games on it that will have decent image quality and be able to just, because with the increased resolution, you can actually show off the other assets better, like the textures and everything else. So I'm really excited.
People are mad at PlayStation. Shout out to Jay Barry and Persona. They said it on What's Up PlayStation weeks back. They were like, you get mad at PlayStation. They're like, once that Switch 2 comes out, get ready to buy all those Zelda games again. They're going to be at 60 frames at $60. Right, Jay?
Yeah, exactly.
The whole remaster thing it's kind of weird because it's coming from a lot of people that's new to this gaming or that's new to PlayStation. This is not a new practice that PlayStation does. Every generation they remaster their games. That's why a lot of people got to replay the Sly Cooper, the Ratchet and Clanks, God of War.
That's right.
God of War got remastered on PS3, PS4. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't get, like, if you're not interested, if you don't want it, all right, cool. But there's a lot of people that always comes. There's new gamers that comes to the platform every generation. This is their first time playing it, and you get to play it at the best, fidelity and quality. So,
I'm going to be honest with you, man. This might be controversial, but sometimes it actually frustrates me because to me, it's like no developer's time, especially dozens of developers, hundreds, maybe millions of dollars worth of investment. You're not entitled to that for free. You're not entitled to someone's work for free. So even with this like Horizon thing, where it's like even John Linneman said in his analysis, this is closer to a remake than it is to a remaster because a whole new engine, whole new lighting model, whole new assets, whole new textures.
You know who said that too, Nib? Certain light-skinned individual with a lisp that was saying that from the original announcement of this, and everybody was laughing and making clicks.
I said the same thing. I was going at it with like some PC gamers over this. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, this probably took like a lot of people, maybe a year, and we're talking we're talking tens of millions of dollars, and you think you're just owed that for free for a game that came out in 2017? Like, come on, what are we doing, man? Like,
when they said the whole new dialogue and new mocap, I was just like, this ain't no remasters. You don't do that.
Exactly.
No, that's a remake. So on Whoops, we call it a remakester. You know what I mean? So we
$10, dude. $10.
Like, have to correct Nib on something. So
go on.
saying, the Switch doesn't show off the resolution. Well, I'm running a Krispy Kreme 60 FPS at 1080p, my guy, and I'm seeing all them assets.
Yeah, well,
so I don't know what you're seeing.
I'm talking about without your Captain Hook and ship, all right?
Oh man, I'm going to be Peter Pan. Keep Captain Hook.
All I'm saying is, when the Switch 2 comes out, we'll have 1440p, 120 FPS. Amen.
Jay,
the difference is, I'm actually contributing to helping these games and to the industry.
Hey, good on you. Nintendo can suck a big one.
Jay, who was it on Whoops that said it? Was it you or Persona who's saying you said Hook was one of your favorite movies?
Oh, Hook is my favorite movie of all time.
That's yours, right? Yeah, I thought that was you, Jay. Jay,
absolutely. I watch that movie almost every month.
Persona was like, you mean the one with, and you're like, yeah, that's the one I mean. That's exactly the one movie I'm talking about right there.
One of the greatest concepts ever, man. Peter Pan grew up and had kids.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It is.
Also,
wait a minute. So Horizon Zero Dawn?
I want to say this, Mooch.
Go ahead.
Right? All the people who have been hating on, the PS5 Pro price, which Ampere put the BOM bill of materials.
Yep.
I think they said they're making like $50 on it or $100, $50 to $100, right? Which isn't a lot of margin, by the way. $50 is not much. Even any currency deviation either way can wipe out your margin instantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see that same energy when the 5090 prices get announced. And I don't just mean like complain about the price and then buy one. I mean, stick to your guns and morals and refuse to buy it. Tell other people to boycott it. Same when Nintendo announced the Switch 2. Nintendo, who for the last 3-4 generations have released hardware that out the gate at launch is selling for a profit. I want you to hold the same energy, right? Because is it PlayStation's not allowed to make profit, but everyone else is? So I want you to keep the same energy. Tell people to boycott that piece of hardware as well, because damn straight they're gonna launch it with profit.
Every
as well.
majority of companies launch to make a profit. I know Microsoft continues to do things when they first launched Game Passes and that they weren't originally. And I know Phil came out and said they were, whatever, but like Microsoft can afford to do that when you're the richest or second richest, depending on the year, company in the world. But like these other companies,
PlayStation 2. Yeah, I mean, we've just got used to
Nvidia actually,
Nvidia
is now one of the top. Maybe why are they making a profit?
Oh,
they can afford
their margins are insane, dude.
Right.
You know the 4080.
Yeah,
I told you last time I was on the podcast. Like the BOM of that bill of materials is $300. They charge $1,000 for that shit.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and you know why? And you know why? Because there's no competition. And guess what PlayStation's going to do when there's no competition?
That's Xbox fault.
That is.
I'm worried about that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm worried about that.
Like, look at Nvidia. That is what happens when you're unchallenged.
So you say, so Detzinger, it's funny though, because it goes full circle to what we talked about an hour and a half ago. But you just said, you're like, well, now that's something to be concerned about. Yet at the same time, everybody is very excited for Xbox to go day and date and Game Pass, and that's what kind of ruined the platform.
Well, yeah, I mean, but then again, it's like people
Mooch, I like that one.
Well, no, but you're actually right. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is great." PC gamers were like, "Oh, this is fantastic. Day and date on PC, lovely. Thank you very much.
Right.
See you later. Goodbye."
Exactly. See you later. Goodbye.
Xbox thought they were onto something. It turns out they weren't onto something, and now they have to go the way of the dinosaur. Well, they have to go the way of Sega at this point, eventually. And then it's like, okay, well, now you're left with PlayStation. Enjoy your time in the console space, because it ain't going to be pretty, because who's going to keep PlayStation in check?
We are kind of screwed, to be fair. Like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Nintendo ain't keeping PlayStation.
Yo, listen, when I say things, everybody be like, yo, you sound crazy. Oh, this guy got a list. But, yo, a year down the line, 2 years on the line, everybody, I always thought that. No, you didn't. I would say that I remember you disagreeing. I trust me, I've been around this circle many times, and that's why now I just sit back and wait.
Yep.
Until I can say.
Yep. That's like Jay. I'm gonna be like that. Jay Barry was on to something, right, Jay?
Hey man, listen. I work for a very big company, man. When big companies like that pull out and stop doing certain things, it's never a good sign. That's all I gotta say, bro.
That's the truth.
If they start cutting costs or cutting things, It is never a good sign. That's all I gotta say. But
I
don't want to wish that on PlayStation. That's why I am very vocal.
I hope you're wrong, but I know where you're coming from, Jay. You're not wrong in your thought process. That's for damn sure. I do have.
That's the thing from last gen. Like in the PS4, Xbox One gen, everyone was like, "Oh, Xbox could go away. No one wants to buy an Xbox." No one on the PlayStation side was. There was this whole when the console wars were real out here. You know, people pulling guns on each other and whatnot, and it was a whole thing. You'll remember, of course. But it's like, oh, we want Xbox to go away, and it's like, do you understand what you're saying? If Xbox actually went away when you said for it to go away, like. You don't understand the whole heap of shit you're gonna land yourself in. You want Xbox to stick around.
I agree.
Want Xbox to challenge PlayStation.
You need someone to hold.
Interest.
But Xbox hurt themselves in a lot of Xbox the platform, not Xbox the publisher. Let's make sure we don't confuse that. Xbox the publisher is doing fine. Xbox the platform, they did it to themselves. If no one kept the finger on the pulse, the quality of the games started to diminish. Yeah. And the output of games started to diminish. Even with all the teams they acquired, they have so many teams right now. Why do we have to wait all the way till the end of this year to get a game? You know what I mean? Where was 2022? Where was where? And even next year, people are like, oh, it's stacked. It's you got a Avowed in February.
I knew it was crazy over there on Xbox side when they came out with an announcement and told y'all that they delaying games because your backlog, and people ran with that on the Xbox. I said, yo, you know what? I don't even think I need to do. I don't even got to do console wars like this. Junk is crazy. If you agree with that statement alone, you're a lost cause right there. Backlog, you delaying games for crazy.
Oh man,
I'm adding more fire to the fuel here. But look, I will say, like, yes, you're right. It's on Microsoft, right? Microsoft, if they had a better IP and studio management and release cadence, we wouldn't be in this situation today, right? Because at the end of the day, product matters. But I will say, so much of the Xbox fandom, and I don't mean like regular fans, like regular consumers and normal. I'm talking about the like heavy influencers. They've contributed to some of this mess because they have essentially indirectly continually lowered the standards, and like it could never be me. Like if PlayStation started going down that line, in fact I did transition to 360 at one point. Like if they start going down that line, you got to hold their feet to the fire. But I feel like people were almost excusing a lot of stuff, and it's always about tomorrow. It's always about wishful thinking. It's always about no, Redfall's going to be amazing. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be.
It's always about next E3.
Yeah, and it's like exactly. Even back then, I remember Phil Spencer. There's like 5 years of him saying this is the best E3 we've ever done. This is going to be the best lineup, and it's like shut the fuck up, bro. Like you say this every year, and it's not the case. Like eventually, like. And that line, like I remember it was really synonymous this generation where they even made coins and stuff about it, like hold the line. You know what hold the line? As I've said before, it just sounds like maintain your low standards. No, you should not be holding the line. And if things are not going your way, or the product output or the cadence is not going your way, you should do the opposite of holding the line and revolt. Because unless you revolt, things are not going to fast track to your direction. Remember in the PS3 days, the PS3 was the butt of all jokes. I remember on the forums there was a chalkboard, and it was like, this game will save PS3 cross. Lair will save PS3 cross. People were like laughing at that shit, and it was a meme. $599, like that was a meme. Like it was the butt of all jokes. What got PlayStation out of that? Insane first party releases and exclusivity deals that you couldn't forget. You know, when Infamous, Killzone 2, God of War 3, Uncharted 2, 3, when all these games started coming out in high cadence, eventually, like, you have to stop laughing at the system and realize you got to take it seriously because the quality of the IP is just too strong. They're doing benchmark pushing titles, and if you are a passionate gamer and you love games, you got to be there, right?
Yeah.
It's not about platform. It's just about the product. And yeah, I think a lot of the fandom has not helped Xbox through this because they haven't pushed them hard enough, basically.
Yeah, and time has gone by, and now it's kind of hard to walk that back. So I do hear you on certain parts of that. There, I do have the great Jay Bari, by the way, throws out PS5 Pro looking good on Black Ops 6. He goes, LOL, yelling. Who's yelling? And then he got Pro Day is almost here. I got to be honest with you, very excited. I was very excited last generation with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. I'm very excited for the PS5 Pro. That's going to be November 7th. I can't wait to go out and grab them. Looking forward to it. And then Sony Slim, you already answered this, Nib, in the chat. He said, Nib, you going to address those deleted tweets regarding PS5 game development? The public demands answers. So shout out to Sony Slim, but you said I already addressed.
Oh, me and him are mutuals. He's in the DM laughing about it.
Okay, I saw you guys going back and forth.
yeah. They're all joking. They're like, let's aggro Nib in this.
I figured. I saw you guys go back and forth. So Mr. Grimm says, I've been gaming for almost 35 years and I've never heard that backlog excuse from any publisher ever. Shout out to Mr.
Pure
Grimm.
Craziness. They actually put that on a PR statement.
Craziness.
Crazy.
It is crazy. To be honest with you, it's maddening. Guys, we went over 3 hours. I kept the great Jay Bari here way longer. I know inside he's like, Mooch, I love you, but I gotta be honest with you, cutting into my gaming time. Okay, that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh no, listen. If I come on the show, man, I'm 100% here. You know
okay,
what I mean?
Good. I've had you come on game release nights before, Jay, and I know you've been like, Mooch, you know I love you, but you're killing me right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, game releases, I'll let you know. Like I'm straight up dude. I say, yo, Mooch, next week I'll come on.
Yeah, this shit ain't working.
Yeah.
So I want to say shout out to everybody that's here. Please hit the like button. Guys, again, I wanted to say it throughout the show, but we had such great dialogue. Next week, we're going to be Wednesday at 7 p.m. Because Halloween is on Thursday. And honestly, you guys are going to be out enjoying a party yourselves. You guys are either going to be maybe out with your families, trick-or-treating or doing whatever you're doing, or watching a scary movie with a loved one. Either way, you know what? I'm going to let you guys enjoy that. I love Halloween as well. So we'll do Wednesday night. I'll advertise it throughout the week on Twitter and on YouTube. You guys will know it well in advance, but I mentioned it at the beginning of the show. I'll mention it here at the end of the show. Please, guys, hit the like button. We'll do the outros real quick so you guys can go. I kept this panel here well over 3 hours. The great Jay Bari. Jay, as always, great to have you. Looking forward to Whoops on Saturday morning. Love what you guys do. Let people know where they can find you. And Jay, thanks for being another New York representative to come on here and talk some games with us.
Let's go Yankees.
That's right. There you go. Well, the Dodgers killed my Mets, so yeah, it's fine. Damn.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite, Mooch, man. It was definitely a pleasure talking to everybody here. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man, Singer. The reason why I like going back and forth with Singer, he's not sensitive.
That's
you can keep it gaming, go back and forth, and nobody's getting personal.
That's right.
Like some of these weirdos that like to clip people.
I know.
But
facts.
You know,
yeah,
I'm always going to take my jab at that. You know. Because I actually know that person out. He became a new person on Twitter, but you know what I mean. But it is what it is. But you can find me Jay Bari on Twitter, Jay Bari on YouTube, and shout out to my bro Persona. We do a PlayStation podcast called What's Up PlayStation Podcast. This Saturday is going to be interesting. If you got upset with the things that I said today, the Halloween stream Saturday is going to be a very interesting one. It's going to be a fun one though because we got some things planned, but.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. That's pretty much it, man. Everybody enjoy your night. Play some games and catch you whenever I'm on here again.
Appreciate you, Jay. The great Nib, everybody. Nib, it's for you and for Death Singer. It is extremely early in the morning, but nonetheless, for some reason, you guys just don't sleep, which I love, by the way. Nib, let people know where they can find you, buddy. And thanks for being here tonight. Great conversation.
Oh no, always awesome. I really enjoy on here. Just on Twitter, NIB95_. You can come and get salty at my tweets. It'll be fantastic. One of the comments here is funny. It says from Compost Smurf, Game Pass evangelists have.
Nope, Nib, you cut out again, Nib.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, one of your comments on the thing says, "Game Pass evangelists have blood on their hands." LOL. There is a degree of truth to that. We were sold, Game Pass is the exclusive, and now Game Plus and whatever strategies they've employed are kind of the reasons why we're in this situation where games are coming to PlayStation and whatever. Anyway, I'm dragging on. Point is, they've _. But I just enjoy going through the comments. It's funny. It's interesting hearing
that from
your
That it is. Well, great to have you here tonight, Nib. I appreciate it, especially keeping you here, like I said, this early in the morning. Same thing for the great Death Singer. Honestly, same thing with Jay. I got to kind of echo what he says, man. I love having you on the show. I do love the perspective. Sometimes I agree with you, sometimes I don't. And guess what? That's what makes it Crossfire. That's what I love having you on the show. And I do like that you, just like I always say to Jay and Persona, what they do on Whoops is something. The reason that I started watching is these guys talk about games. They get me excited for games. And Singer, honestly, there's a lot of games that I like, you don't, and vice versa. But there's some games that you've actually talked me into checking out. And I'm like, you know what? That's what this is all about. In between the banter of the news weekly, we talk about the way games affect you, games affect me. And I'm like, you know what? You got me to metaphor, man. I got to be honest with you. So cheers to Singer. Singer, let people know where they can find you. I
don't play no games.
Singer. Shout out to Death Singer. Singer, let people know they can find you, buddy. Thanks for being here so early in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, as Barry said, I don't play any games, so sue me. Hey,
sue me.
But it's just like I don't play any games. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, guys. It's all been a lie. But it's always a pleasure chatting with Barry because I know it's going to devolve into something, but it's like we're actually adults. And you don't get personal with the conversation, and you can have a debate about gaming. I could say God of War is the biggest pile of shit on earth, and I could say Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is less than Baldur's Gate 3, and I know Barry's not going to get personal with me. He's just going to tell me I'm wrong.
Don't get personal. I'm gonna kick your shin though, but
yeah. Oh, and also Mooch owes me like 10 levels in Call of Duty because that's how long I spend on the podcast. So I'll collect that in the mail. Thank you.
That's right.
But yeah, you can find me everywhere, and you could also find me Saturdays with Luca, Slow-Mo, and Forte.
Yes.
Scumcast on the Asher Lucas channel at 7 p.m. Eastern on a Saturday.
Shout out to the great.
Mooch, are you going to buy Metaphor? Because you said our conversation earlier.
I am. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm probably, like I said, I want to get the platinum in Silent Hill 2, and I'm going to be playing this weekend. Believe it or not, I got my kids got a baseball tournament, so I'm going to be bringing the Portal, and I'll be playing probably the campaign because I'm not going to play the multiplayer on the Portal, but I'll definitely play through the campaign, and then Sunday night I'll start hitting the multiplayer pretty rough right there. So once I get done with that, then I'll go over to Metaphor.
We need you as like the intermediary here. Because Barry is obviously a super like Rebirth fan and Death Singers loves Metaphor, right? We need you to have someone who has played or beaten both. Where do you draw the line? Like, which one is the game of the year? I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I will definitely give you those thoughts. It'll probably be somewhere in the mid-November time frame, but absolutely you will get that. I want to, because I've only played the demo right now. That's not really a fair judgment. Yeah, and by the way,
like I said, I love Metaphor, but that whole game of the year, people need to pack that up. I think people overhype that because they like the Atlas formula, and it's just more of Atlas formula. But really and truly, like how everybody like to glaze and like, the strategy and Metaphor. Yo, go play that Rebirth. You know what I mean? There's a reason. There's a reason why that platinum trophy is so rare.
That is.
I mean. I'll be honest. I personally, I haven't completed Metaphor. I'm in the final, like I said, like 2 weeks in terms of in-game days. So I'm basically at the end. Like I only have one boss left, and I do think Rebirth for me is a stronger title for a multitude of reasons. But yeah, we can go into it another time. But I can list
Barry, it's funny you say rare platinums. Did you get the Concord Platinum? That's the rarest on PlayStation right now.
Man, you dirty dog! You dirty dog! You're lower than the snake's belly. Come on, man! That's a low blow.
He's invoking PTSD now.
Yo, don't listen. We could go another hour and get me talking about Concord, and that's going to get clipped up, Mooch. I'm sorry,
I know it is.
I'm gonna let it be. Singer, I'm gonna let that one slide because you cool people. I'm gonna let that one slide.
Oh, but you know what though, Singer? Don't forget, Jay wrote that down, and next time you're on the show with him, that will come up.
Mm-hmm.
Just know that will come up. Want to say shout out to everybody that stayed here. Please, guys, hit the like button. Quick shout outs. Brap's got 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks till he's going to be able to be on full time again. He's literally Thursday nights are just baseball night for him and his family as well. Shout out to Brap. He does Brap Podcast Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's at Brap_podcast. Shout out to the Crap Gamer. That's the _baseball Crap Gamer. Yeah, he's doing fall ball. I got the same thing.
Mooch.
Fall ball goes all the way to November, man.
He got one more strike if I'm a guest on this podcast and he's not in this joint, it's going to be problems. I don't know what the hell is going on. How you playing baseball at 10 o'clock at night? Let's get it together.
Let's stop with Under the Lights. I'm with you on that, Jay. Let's give him some shit after the show for real. Shout out to Crap Gamers, _Crap Gamers, Crap Gamer Reviews. Shout out to Forte and Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo was on, you guys know it's at Slow-Mo Backslap, and it's at Gaming_Forte. They're over at DPS right now. Go over there, say what's up, tell Mooch sent you. And I'm just trying to see if I missed anybody. I don't think I missed anybody else, but shout out to everybody that was here tonight. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And guys, thanks for the super chats. We'll see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. next week. Then we're back to Thursdays. But next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Go play some Call of Duty, play something, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Peace out and good night.
Peace out. Good night. By the way, Mooch, did you hear the Satya Nadella quote?